So we're returning back, and as I said, we had questions that I had just gone through. We're going to just go through the questionnaire, and I'm going to get answers from everyone, starting with Blair Claremont.
Okay.
How did the crater come to be? What disaster turned a prosperous city like Megiddo, home of the greatest magic in the world, into a sunken mass of ruined buildings? What terrible secret do you fear the Elonians might uncover here?
All right. So, the crater came to be. So the old gods, the old celestial gods, were the ones who gave this area their magic, their powers, and the people began to feel after many years. I don't even know how long, but a long time. After a long time, people began to feel like the gods were using their power over them, like lording their power over them, as if they were like their minions, and they decided to rebel. And this rebellion led to the gods taking their powers back. And when they did this, they sent a celestial storm of fire and meteors and destroyed this entire area.
They are not effing around. Okay. So almost like a purge on these people, like a celestial purge, for better words. Okay. If I'm misunderstanding it, the gods use the celestial storm to wipe out the denizens of Megiddo. Okay.
Yep.
Like that? Oh, I don't know if I like that. That's dark, Chris. I'm just kidding. And then in what terrible secret do you fear the Elonians might uncover there?
So Blair believes that they will, when they want dominion over the area, the Elonian people, and they decide they feel like they will find out that the gods are waiting. They're waiting for someone to come back into this area so then they can gift them powers again, but have minions essentially again. And if so, the Elonian, she fears that the Elonians will decide to take over all of Denova and ruin her people as well.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Final questions. Is your position as an heir an honor or a burden? And when your father forbade you from taking action against Elonia, was he trying to protect you?
So I have both honor and burden. So like Blair loves their people and loves their family, but at times it can be quite overwhelming for a young adult. And yes, their father was trying to protect them.
All right. Thank you very much, Krista / Blair. We are now going to go to Cassandra. So I'm just going down the list here. As I said, you were a former Captain Skyriders. Desdemona left Stormkeep after the violent death of her brother Tristan. What was your relationship with the two of them? How did Tristan die?
So my relationship with them was almost familial, like kind of, that mentor. There was like a strict, like, you taught me a lot of my values, my how I take life, like how I'm doing everything, on top of like the other mentor things of like what made me become a sky captain, or a captain of the Skyriders. Seeing them almost in like an aunt and uncle role where like you would come to them for guidance whenever she like had questions, maybe something more strict or professional, she would maybe go to Desdemona, and then Tristan was the like goofy fun, like, was,
he's the Disney dad. He's the Disney dad.
Yes, he's the Disney dad of it, exactly. And speaking of, so how he died violently is that he was executed for attempted conspiracy with Elonia.
Oh, okay. Executed. So I'm going to actually go with that to a certain little further. So when it says executed, was rightful, or like was he caught in conspiracy, or was it accusation?
So I think that Cassandra, like, they had evidence. It was, they basically found out that this was a whole thing. She never knew that about him, and like still very much doubts that that's true. Doesn't really believe it, but the hard evidence is that he was
Gotcha.
like. But she almost maybe believes that there was like some framing, perhaps maybe going on, but that's more of like a conspiracy of her own. But like I said, like evidence as it shows, he was in fact conspirating with them.
Like it. Final question: why have you abandoned your position as a captain of Skyriders?
So I have abandoned my position as captain as there is doubt that my mentor would sign up with Alonia, and if she did, then I would almost doubt my values of what she taught me, and to like understand that it's like you're taught to be so headstrong and take life on the chin to suddenly switch up everything that you'd believed in at like, the drop of a coin is kind of gotten her to be like, well, I'm so self-doubtful. I don't believe in myself. I don't really know, almost like losing who she is, and step down from the captain position.
Makes sense. Love it. Thank you very much, Ethan/Cassandra. We're going to go to Edgar. We're going to start with what happened in the small town of Pimble. Why did you leave the village afterwards?
So in Pemble, I envision it as a mining community. And I think that Edgar was working on some magitech to improve the quality of life for those in the mine, maybe make things a little bit easier, make the job go a little bit smoother. And it was experimental and unstable, and he ended up causing a cave-in and crushing his own arm under the rocks, eventually needing it to be amputated and replacing it with a magitech arm. And he left after his new arm was tested and ready for practical use, because he wanted to learn more about magitech and not being in a place where it is like super prevalent and available makes it harder to learn about. So he's looking for different like magical sources of power that can be used for it, maybe ways to make it a little bit more stable so that he doesn't have to lose an arm every time he tries an experiment.
All right. Well, and then due to Alonia's actions, Magitech will be forever associated with war, but at least they're not sending living people into battle. What is Edgar's thoughts on the Empire?
So he thinks it's just a terrible shame that this wonderful technology is being used in a fashion that's just solely for war, when even though his own experimentation has sort of failed, in other practical applications, in like with proper safety testing, it could be used to better life for so many people. Like he made himself a magic arm, so it's like there could be like so much you could do for people that are injured or have mobility issues, or just there's a lot of stuff you could do with it in general, I think. And using it to make robots to kill is just a shame. It's absolutely a shame. Edgar's the youngest OSHA 30 card holder.
Awesome. All right. Once again, as always, last but not least, Levine. Why did Alonia attack your home city of Amorica? What powerful weapon or magic artifact did they take from your kingdom? Awesome.
I'm going to say that Alonia attacked Armorica to gain access to the dark metal mines that Armorica is known for. Just makes sense.
Makes sense.
And the powerful weapon would be my father's sword. Highly symbolic of the power of the kingdom. Very important to gain access to that.
Sword. Okay. And Armorica's dark metal is known for the best protections in the world, and your armor was a precious gift. Who gifted it to you? And what was the relationship with them?
Her older brother Leroy gave Levine her armor. He was helping her to train as a warrior, pushing her to be her best. They've got that kind of strong, like, sibling relationship, lots of joking and teasing, some practical jokes. And the only reason that she wasn't taken along with him and her parents is because they were supposed to go train together outside of the city the day that the attack happened. And she got up early, left without him, hoping to get a jump on him once he got out there, and instead watched her city fall, helpless to do anything about it.
Oof. Heavy heart of the Princess of Armorica. I love it. Sorry, you guys are witnessing more note-taking than I've probably done in any TTRPG game in probably like 5 weeks. So, okay. Well, now that we've gotten a little bit of an introduction to who your characters are by a certain establishment, that is where we were talking about the traits. Now we're going to go into the other part of the narrative side of your character, and that is bonds. And a character's traits define who they are, but to grow stronger, heroes need connections. They need to feel emotions towards them, and in this game, that is represented by bonds. Now, in the Fabula Ultima full version, you can have bonds with up to 6 individual representations. You're probably not going to get more than 2 or 3 in this, just because of time and situation. But I'm going to admit, in this book, the description of what you see on the character sheet versus how to, it's a little weird in the explaining, but I'm going to read it, and if there's any questions, answer it after that. But a bond can have up to 3 emotions, each chosen from the following pairings. If you're looking at your character sheet, you should be able to see like 3 different sections. There's admiration or inferiority, then loyalty or mistrust, and then affection or hatred. You can develop a bond by selecting an emotion in each one of these pairings. You cannot have the same, you can't have loyalty and mistrust. That doesn't make sense. That's not a sensible pairing. But you can also have weird, difficult emotions where you could have admiration for someone, but hatred at the same time. And it's very encouraged to have these weird bonds that you develop over time, whether with NPCs or your party or certain elements. But they also translate into what are called bond points. So basically for each bond you have, so we'll just say, I'm going to use an example. Let's say, I'm going to just use Blair for the moment. Blair had a bond with Leon. I'm just going to say that up front. And she uses they use the emotion mistrust. That bond has 1 point. Now, throughout the game, you can develop another bond point, and then another, up to 3. So with that character. Later in the game, we'll express what that translates to and what that means. So, but am I translating that correctly? Do you understand conceptually what that means? Basically, these bonds are representations of your developed relationships with these characters. So with that, you guys have survived the crash. For better, for worse. As you've kind of gained a little bit of presence, what we're going to have you do is every one of you is going to pick a bond with one of the other characters in your party. Now, this is a weird kind of, there's only 3, but there's 4, so eventually someone's probably going to be kind of like, there's going to be a favoritism probably to 2 people because there's the lack of party fluidity, but we'll start with this. As we're going to go the other way around, because I've been going Blair to Levine. We're going to go the other way around. Levine, what bond would you feel would be best appropriate in the party you have right now?
I feel like Levine is just super impressed with like the way that Cassandra like tried to get in and like help. Like, it doesn't even matter that it didn't work. The fact that Cassandra like put herself in what looked like actual physical danger to try and stop the ship from crashing, like That's admiration right there. That was very cool. I'm impressed.
Love it. Now, I know you know how to direct your character sheet in Foundry, so I'll let you add your bond of admiration to Cassandra. Then we will go to Edgar. Now, Edgar, you were kind of in the shit at the hole, but at the same time, though, coming up and kind of seeing what is going on, you get to create the narrative of why you have a bond with another individual here.
So I think that just overall, like even with the whatever preceded this adventure, I think that Edgar would have an admiration for Blair. I feel like we're both pretty young characters in this, and to like be in like that position of like, oh, like I'm the heir of this royalty and I'm doing this thing because I have to and it's my job, and I'm just like a tinkerer guy from the boonies that blew up his arm. I think seeing someone that's my age having that level of responsibility and maturity, like in comparison to like I've been sneaking scraps off the bottom of this skyship, and I want to tinker with some things and make an invention. I think there's an admiration there.
Love it. And I noticed, I don't know if you were already tinkering with it, Rule, on the character sheet, but I saw there's...
Yeah, I was just clicking on the things to see if how they populate.
I unclicked the other two, so you now have your just bond with admiration, just so you know, because that's mechanically has value later. Cassandra, what bond was built? And like I said, it doesn't have to be at the crash. That's just kind of like an opening for, reason to have something. If you want to preface to before this why they have an admiration, you can. That's the beauty part about this game. You can bring story into association with another individual, as long as they have consent. You're not changing narrative or something for someone else.
So I'm kind of torn, because I think like Cassandra would have a lot of respect for like the like dutifulness and the like add attention of Levine, but also probably just gained a lot of admiration for Edgar genuinely saving them last second. And I think that being like so present, I'm gonna probably go with like admiration for Edgar, and that last second just even when she failed, she was like found somebody that could like picked up the slack, and I think that's something she would really admire.
Love it.
So
do you understand how to add that onto your character sheet as far as going so it's that the little document thing, and then you can add a bond with a plus, put the name, and then there's drop downs, and then it'll give you the
Got
point. Okay, we're going to Blair now. There's been a lot of admiration pushed around. Blair, who are you focusing your bond on?
So I'm going to focus on Levine. Levine scares me a little. It's like she's so badass. It's like scary.
I love this.
So I'm gonna mark inferiority.
Love it.
With Levine.
Love it. If it wasn't going to break the system, I would be awarding points for that creativity, but I'm keeping it stable. We're keeping it at the face value of this game. But I'm glad you went in the other sense of it. So, but as you're seeing, creating these bonds, not only they're there just for a notch, it is to kind of tally what your evaluation is on certain people, and kind of that's the narrative direction you can go. Now, it's also worth noting that can change over time. That's the beautiful part about the story. With anyone who's played JRPGs, the biggest tropey thing is people's like fall and redemption and gaining, like that's part of the game. About the only thing that can't change really is origin, unless they're just giving up their home to be part of De Novo, whatever they want to do. But it's not uncommon for your identity to change over time. In fact, if you have horrible failures in certain circumstances, I, as the GM, can do things like change your identity trait as you are seen. And that is, I don't try to do that, but that is one of the consequences. So, but there's always story narrative to keep going and change it to whatever is fun in the situation. But that being said, so like I said, I this is going to be a little quick of a repeat, but the strength of the bond, the number of emotions. So as you develop, they'll go 1, 2, 3. But right now you only have 1. So with that, feel free if you want to do any little bit of narrative acknowledgement that associates with your bonds in the role play section. I feel like I've done a lot of talking, then we stopped and talked. You guys have learned your characters, you have these bonds, but yet haven't really associated much. So feel free if you want to do anything in association with that. If not, we'll move forward into the next scene.
I would like, as I'm kind of like standing up, looking at the destroyed part of the ship that's hanging over the cavern. I just look over to Edgar and I go, "So, exactly how did you make the ship jump like that?"
Well, it's not exact. Well, technically, I guess it would be a science, but it's not. It's more of an art form, I guess. If you take a bunch of what are they called? They've got the nodes and like all this wiring. Basically, if you overload it, you can make a lot of energy come out of the bottom, which is where all the the lift comes from. Propulsion's from like the wind and stuff. But I just made it push a lot out of the bottom. Right before we hit the ground. I honestly wasn't even sure if it would work. There's a the people think blowing stuff up is easy. It's really not that easy to do it. To do it in a safe and controlled way. I really could have hurt myself a lot, but I felt the circumstance was quite dire. I thought I saw out of the bottom of the hole as we were going down. I thought I saw the sail fall all the way off. So
yeah. Yeah, did you like look? It's like hanging. It's like yeah. No, that's
pretty scary
that didn't go so well
circumstance.
there.
Yeah, I'm honestly glad that none of you got because when you get to a point where you get suddenly lifted, sometimes there's an area of 0 G's. I'm glad nobody fell off. I didn't really consider that as I was trying to make the ship not crash. I was just really trying to make sure we didn't explode.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we all did not explode. So I guess we have you to thank and also be concerned about with that, but appreciated nonetheless.
Yes, sir. Your concern is noted, and I have it for myself as well. But yeah, I'm mostly just glad y'all are okay up here. I wouldn't look too much down there. It's mostly torched and broken. So
We should probably be looking ahead to what lies next. Highness, what is your plan?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the meme where the person's like, Mommy, sorry. That is Blair's like in their head response, and they kind of stammer over their words and they're like, well, it doesn't look like the ship is repairable. Oh, Edgar, I do thank you very much for trying. All we can do is look ahead. And I don't know if Leon's still here at this point, but if he is, she'll kind of just like, Edgar, I promise we will, or not Edgar, Leon, I promise we will repay you. No worries, we will get a new ship or rebuild, however. And she'll say, or they'll say, Princess, what do you suggest we do now?
Well, that blinding light that came out of the crater is highly concerning. I think we should investigate it. Let's find out what caused that.
I agree.
Again.
As you hear when you're getting that assurance to Leon goes, thank you, Your Majesty. And he like kind of tries to do like a royal curtsy. He doesn't really know what to do. As once again, but he goes, just to be clear, if you all make it back and you talking about reimbursement, I'm going to be exonerated. Like, I'm not going to be held accountable when we find out that I'm the one who drove you here, right? Like,
No. We won't even make mention of your name unless you want that.
I got plenty of time to think about that.
I suppose it depends on how this mission goes.
Well, I hope it goes a lot better than the arrival to the crater. So I wish you best of luck. So
You too, Leon.
with that, we end scene 2. We are now going to move into scene 3, which is known as Shadows. I'm so used to my visual. I changed my setup to where it's now left to right instead of right to left. So
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh. Cool.
the scene changes. We now see the inside of an ancient building, perhaps a temple. It's a dark room illuminated by a dim purple glow. Supporting the roof is a massive bronze pillar decorated with ancient symbols. The pillar is filled with cracks from which are seeping rays of intense energy. We begin to start to zoom in and hear the clacking of armored heels on the stone floor. We then see a hand approach the pillar, it wrapped in a silver gauntlet. The scientists of Alonia were right, the feminine voice says. The compass was left buried here since the disaster. Now that we have it, dear brother, I'll bring you back for good. Two shadows stand against the purple light. One is massive in giant-clad armor. The other is shorter and thinner, wielding a long spear. It seems our heroes do not have much time. So, what you just witnessed in Fabula Ultima is something that I started to implement in my other games, but this is known as a GM Game Master scene. It is placed for the audience. You guys are not only players and authors, you're also audience. You are seeing at the same time what is happening and have some understanding as players, but obviously that does not carry over to the agency as the character. Mm-hmm. So, in that, now we're going to discuss villains and Fabula points. So, villains in Fabula Ultima act as player characters' dark mirror, formidable antagonists whose actions are placed in the world of danger. Now, villains have special rules that go above and beyond your standard threat NPCs that will be discussed later. But we will also know that villains, when you see them in any form of scene, whether it is in the Game Master scene as you're seeing now, or in presence, you are rewarded a Fabula point per villain on scene. So, we are now going to carry over to Fabula points. Fabula points are truly what make the player character special. To gain Fabula points, a freshly created player receives 3 Fabula points. We are treating that as is right now, like you were 3 created characters, so you have 3. You also gain Fabula points from rolling a fumble on a check, which is double ones. So there is still at least some sort of boon for the failure. Mm-hmm. As I said, a villain enters the scene. There's 2 villains, so therefore you get 2 Fabula points. So on your character sheet, you will all have now 5 Fabula points.
Nice.
Cool. Take a little sip here. So, in spending Fabula points, as I said, this is the meta currency of Fabula Ultima. You can use the Fabula points to, after performing a check, as we've rolled earlier, This would have been really awesome for you guys to have earlier when that ship was crashing down. What you can do is activate, as long as you don't roll a fumble, so 2 ones, you may spend a Fabula point to invoke one of your traits, your identity, theme, or origin, to roll one or both of your die to have a new setup. So you take that point, and then whatever narrative brilliance that is bestowed into why you're using that Fabula point is narrative, and then allows you to re-roll your die. Like I said, you can re-roll one or both. It's a very powerful tool to have in this game.
That's cool.
You also can use that to invoke a bond using one Fabula point, and add the strength of the bond, which the emotions tied it. That's why I said you all have a bond 1 right now, to a result of a check. So let's say that precious the difficulty level 10 was almost achieved at rolling an 8. You could try to invoke a trait and re-roll, but you could still roll that 1. Let's say you had a bond of 2 though, and you used, like, let's say, Levine, you could then invoke your Fabula point to add +2 to your roll to gain that success of the DL. So it's always keep in mind that it's there, but it's also worth narrating why to a certain extent. But I'm not a stickler on every single time, and I'll be honest, sometimes it doesn't require cinematic lighting of description on why. It can be pretty direct and quick. But those are the 2 main uses of a Fabula point when it comes to your traits. So now you understand these have mechanical value as you continue to grow your bonds. They become more powerful in that sense, and used to invoke your traits. Now, let's see if there's anything. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. That's EM stuff. So, does that make sense now as far as using your traits and your bonds with the Fabula points? We will go later on in the advanced rules, once we get to that point, to show what other chaos can be ensued with Fabula points. But that is neither here nor there. But with that, you see the fade of the scene. The villains disappear. As we now enter scene 4, the descent. As you all start making your way to the edge of the crater of Megiddo, seeing the pieces of the airship is kind of tumbling off the front still, and there's little pieces of stone that's falling. You start to notice there's no clear path forwards the actual floor. You just see ruin amongst everything, but you still see an ominous purple light coming from a large building several hundreds of meters below where you are. From a distance, you can see, as you described it, Blair, this looks like it was once maybe not just an advancement of magical brilliance, but you see grand statues of divinity that have come to ruin in certain elements, but there was definitely a statement of this brilliance of this city that once stood as a beacon of divine existence in the gods, but also the rumored wrath that bestowed it. This crater is a veritable maze. It looks not that ominous from the sense of when you have the higher up and see all the ruins around. But once you descend, that is the trouble of getting to the center. So now we are going to what is called a group check. This is something that when you adventure in dungeoneering and all that, you come together. And first off, you're going to decide who will act as your leader of the group. This person will be the last to perform the check, and the result will determine the consequence of the action. The leader describes the approach to the situation, and which will allow me, the game master, to distinguish what attributes are going to be used in the roll, just like a skill check. However, the other players will perform what is called a support check. This check uses the same attributes as the leaders, and they must. It's always a fixed difficulty level 10. So every time one of you passes that check, it's going to be a +1 to the leader to roll their check. Their difficulty level might be higher given the circumstance. Now, along with that, any character who has a bond towards the leader also gets to add their bond modifiers. So once again, getting a higher value in bonds and relationships can really contribute to the success of your party's role. Is that making sense so far? And I'm sorry, I hate always saying, does that make sense? That's my biggest, I feel it sounds condescending, but I just want to make sure we're on the same level. Finally, after all of the support roles have been distinguished, we'll take the total amount of successes to the leader's role. Simple as that. Now, as you are all looking at the daunting task of descending down, who will want to be the leader of figuring out how you're going to get down and be the representative of the group check?
I mean, Blair seems the most familiar. So, but if it's like we're gonna climb down, I don't know.
I was gonna recommend Levine,
Yeah.
but
I think there are arguments to be made for any one of us.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. This is the first time you guys have played with each other. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to delegate. Metagame is a very big thing in this game. I want you to understand. There's not like, I promote you role-playing it in certain elements, but at the same time, there's a lot of decisions to be made that are based on the player invoking on the character. So,
I mean, I'm quite nimble. I could perhaps find a safer way down as we traverse down and, kind of help guide you all further down into this crater. Just because I got decent dexterity. But
and for narrative's sake, I want to also say, like, it's always kind of assumed you guys have, like, unless you escape from prison and you don't have anything, but like the fact you guys were coming on this venture, it's assumed you might have rope, you might like
the gear,
you have the
supplies.
gear and stuff like that. Supplies.
Yeah.
So
this was planned.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff laying around here too. We could rig up like a sled to like if we just want to slide down into the crater.
Oh my word.
I think that we should do that. I think Edgar should take the lead and we do that, personally.
I love that plan.
It sounds so fun.
I love it too.
I will say, if we're gonna go with that route, then I would like to be on the back using my massive sword to like help break
It's like
and
steer.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
That's my contribution. I like that. I like it a lot.
If there's like pieces of wings and like stuff from the airship lying around, we could just like lash them together and rig up like a crater sail.
So I love this. This is frightening to me as far as coming up with it. But so Edgar is going to be the leader, correct, of this?
Yes.
So,
Sure.
like I said, in respect to how the group check rolls, I'm determining the best thing you're going to be doing is inciting to find proper equipment and things you can find, lumber, whatever you do to make a proper sled for 4 people going down, and then I'm going to. I mean, I really want to say, we'll go with that. We'll say might helps navigate a little bit with it's kind of one of those things where it's going to. I could go one way and say I need the dexterity for you guys to build it, but I'm not really going there. I like the fact that Levine has like using the sword. Like, there's going to be like they're the actual kind of like the steering brake with the sword, so that's going to require might. So
That's fair.
I would say with you, the group, you guys have enough with the insight of seeing what is valuable. You have enough collective effort to try to gather pieces, and once it's assembled, we'll go that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to do insight might. This is something I don't often do together. I love this combination. So
Gotta use our muscles and our brain.
in Foundry, there is a group check option, but not everyone's using Foundry. So what we're going to do is you're just going to do a standard roll check for your sake of rolling. So does anyone have a bond with Edgar? I do. Okay.
Cassandra does.
So automatically, there's going to be a +1 to your roll from the admiration from Cassandra. But we'll go ahead and start with let's start with Levine, the mighty individual. It'll just be a DL10, Might Insight.
All right, here we go. Hey!
So
there we
you
go.
did get the 10. That doesn't count as a crit because it's not a 6 or higher. But you did.
Yeah.
But you did get the 10. So that's +1 to Edgar's roll. So we've got a +2.
Sure.
So you see as you're getting everything set up and things are about to on the descent. You see a confidence in Levine, with the sword being the guiding, steering joint in whatever you guys have come up with. I would like now Blair to roll a Might Insight.
All right. Oof.
Oh, you still got the 10.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
That's
Oh, yeah.
+3. Wow, you guys are making it's complete opposite of the airship.
Better.
Who knew a actual stable manufactured aircraft would not be able to laugh, but this makeshift sled
But this
is
sled.
going. All right, so that's +3 to Edgar's roll at this point. So Cassandra, I need a Might and Insight from you.
All right, we got a D8 and a D6. I got 2 6s.
Okay, so that
So-
is that's a crit
Great.
success. So
Success.
it doesn't actually go into yet what we do with successes on crits yet in advanced rolls, but I'm going to be a friendly DM. I'm going to say it's going to get +2 to
Oh,
the roll.
nice.
I don't want that to go unrewarded. So with everything that is a success, wow, +5 to your roll of Insight, Might, Edgar, as you guys all
Good.
collectively work together.
To build a sled to go down a crater.
Build a sled to go down a hill. Gonna need it. The might for me is a D6.
Just a little less.
Okay. Double 3s, so 6, but you said +5, so that gives us an 11
Mhm.
total.
So I didn't set the DC. I didn't say the DL on that, which I really want to make it a 13. You guys are trying to take Driftwood and fucking group sail it.
Yeah.
It's just going down.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
a,
get down.
It's a steep thing going into explosions. The shards of statue. You know what? This is all about succession and going forward. I'm going to keep it at a 10 for now, and you are succeeding. But in this, I want you guys to describe what you're doing as this sled starts to go down. Or actually, I don't even have to say who's since you're leading it, Edgar. I'm guessing you're kind of at the front as the visual, and maybe Levine's at the back end, as far as I said, kind of being this like steering apparatus with the sword.
Mm-hmm. So as we start to go down, Edgar's gonna snap his goggles on over his eyes, and gonna make sure that there are like sections of rope like tied off so that everybody can like hold on to it, and just try to take like a sideways sort of like surfboard stance, so I can look ahead of us and like call back to Levine to like direct around like obstacles. He's like, hey, left.
This is bonkers. And I already realized I made a small mistake in the excitement of your description. With that, I could have given you a 13. This would have been a proper time for you to use a Fabula point to try to re-roll higher. But that's my bad.
That's fair.
So, but I spent so much time trying to restrain that ability, I didn't think about it in that sense. So, because I don't think you can, in a group check, actually you can invoke it. You just can't fumble, or you can't critical success. I don't know. Sorry, I think it might be critical success, which I did have do with Cassandra. Whatever, it's fine. That's me just making a quick wave of the wand. So, either way, just know going forward on group checks, crits do not guarantee opportunity. It's just success. And on top of that, I inspire you to use your Fabula points. That's how you get EXP on a certain level and stuff like that to try to succeed. So I'm sorry for robbing you that narrative, but there will be more times, I promise.
You good?
So as there's a few bumps as this chaos is going down and it's a steep, and you start to see moments where you see like a shard of a big piece of some divine entity statue that is just embedded in the mountain, and you hear him shouting left, and you just see Levine trying to just drill that sword and just get enough at an angle, and it kind of feels like it's going to taper off for a moment, and then you're finally able to get a little bit more of a less friction as the stone becomes more smooth, as it's getting less and less I would say the mountain itself is just not being dealt with the elements from up top, so you're seeing less of like erosion and stuff in a more smooth slide, but it's still kind of like a roller coaster that's coming down. And there's a moment of kind of like, oh shit, and finally it kind
Everybody's
of
like-
just smooths out, and you had a little bit of a bump. And I will say the sled kind of breaks a little bit, but it's enough where you guys kind of have this moment. You're at the ground. Everything's okay. But that was
Right
a
be-
moment.
Right before we get to the end, Blair is definitely like holding on to a bit of the rope, holding on. I imagine them as sitting behind Edgar, holding on to Edgar's shoulder with their eyes closed, just humming a little, just like, please.
Love it.
If I'm being completely honest, that turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to.
I had full confidence on us the whole time.
Oh, well, yeah, the confidence is there. Just, wood down a hill made of rocks. No wheels, no brakes. Whew.
You're telling us
Good
these
job.
concerns now. This is a
Well,
great
yeah, if I told you-
time to be- Uh-huh.
If I told you before, you would have been more nervous and we might have messed something up.
You remember the concern that I was talking about earlier with the ship? Yeah, that's going up more and more.
Yeah. No, believe me, there's cause for concern. You're absolutely right. I will keep it in check though. But if you give me the reins, reins.
You did so good, Edgar.
Okay. Well, you, for better words, succeeded in your dissension down the questionable slopes of the crater Megiddo. As you hit down this moment where you've come to a stop and a little bit is broken, and you see quite truly the impressive size of what the city might have been, and despite lay in ruins. And you start to make a little bit of progression towards the central location where you see the purple emanation from the distance. And despite some of those, despite some of the difficulties, you start to notice the source of power glowing closer and closer. And you see a dome-shaped building a few blocks away from where you currently are. Strewn amidst rubble, you notice the remains of several Alonian Magitech soldiers. Some lie motionless on the ground. Others hiss and shake in a shower of sparks as they wander the ruins, like something's happened. Whatever magical energy damaged your airship most likely ended up irreparably frying the magical cores of these constructs. But as they continue to move around, suddenly you see a small cloaked person running towards you, chased by a one-eyed winged monster. You hear a feminine voice say, "I'm just a merchant! Please help!" in a young girl's voice, then rushes past you. She clearly wants to make sure you stand between her and the one-eyed monster flying in the air, which slowly you start to notice in the chaos that has ensued. Some of the motioned constructs of the Alonian Empire start to spark and make their way towards you. We are entering our conflict scene, where we go into battle. Now, we know the participants are going to be you folk. There is also some Alonian soldiers and the flying one-eyed monster. The individual that screamed for help, there's moments in conflict where I might be able to still put narrative in, but they are not involving themselves in the actual physical interaction of combat. So we will go into the combat scene and we will start talking about how this the one of the stars of the show works in this game. It's called Two Arms. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I don't like that one. I have a better one.
Oh,
Bless
excuse me.
you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Good night.
I would have muted if I felt it coming sooner.
There we go.
Ooh.
Oh, classic.
Hell yeah.
So, we'll go into battle music.
Gotta say, this sprite work is excellent.
Yeah,
So
whoever let's say,
good.
once again, this was some wonderful volunteer. Well, I said they got commissioned by the publishing company, but still, I love everything they've attributed to this game. So, first and foremost, as there's been a lot of discussion in the content creation as far as like Daggerheart and no initiative and all that stuff, and then of course there's initiatives in all kinds of games. This does have an initiative system, and the way this works is we're going to do an initiative group check, just like we kind of did a group check a moment ago. But the two attributes are always Dex Insight, giving you to react and see what is happening. Now, the check follows the standard rules for group checks, so we're still going to have a leader that is part of this. However, what they're going to do is when you do the group checks, you utilize the initiative modifier on your character sheet, which most of them are negative, so that you have to account that you're going to see a decline in your roll when you roll this. But nonetheless, it's going to be a DL10 for everyone supporting the leader, as always in a support. But let's see here. This also will be a difficulty level. It's based on their monster initiative. So you guys whoever's the leader has to get a DL10. So who wants to be the leader of this group check? Like I said, this is one of those moments where metagame really values. Dex Insight is really up the alley of Edgar, but I don't want to take that away if anyone wants to take front on that.
I was going to say maybe Cassandra.
That too.
Given you said you had high dex, and also you seem like you're ready to jump into action.
That is true. I do have a very low insight, though. I got a 6 in insight, so
And I'm
I mean,
stoked.
Yeah, I had a 6 in might for the other
Yeah.
one.
I'm not against taking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, we're going to do Dex. So I'm not going to end it. Everyone can just roll a Dex Insight real quick, and we'll start seeing who's what here.
Dex insight.
So Blair, you rolled. We'll go and do the rolls here real quick. But everyone else, what else other than Cassandra? Who else?
11.
Oh.
Okay, so Edgar got an 11, so that's going to be a +1 to Cassandra. Does anyone have a bond with Cassandra?
I do.
Levine. So that'll be a +1 from Levine. So you're going to have a +2. Now, this is the moment. Both of you, both Blair and Levine, did fail the group check. This counts as a check. So you may use a Fabula point to invoke one of your traits. Or a bond, if the mathematical sense of a bond would give you enough, which right now it's not. You have an 8 for Levine, but you can invoke one of your traits to use a Fabula point to invoke your traits and re-roll whatever die you would like, if you would like to. Or you can risk the gambit and see if those 2 is enough for Cassandra to beat the 10. Does that make sense as I'm explaining it? Because it's between Blair and Cassandra, the only 2 that have to consider this.
Or
not Cassandra. Sorry,
From
sorry,
me?
Blair. I'm sorry, Blair and Levine. My apologies.
Yeah, so you're asking if either of us would like to use a Fabula
point to reroll. Use your traits. Whatever your traits.
I will take a stab at that. I think guilt being a strong motivator. She already has failed to protect everybody once in the crashing of the ship, so not gonna let that happen again.
Are you re-rolling both, or are you gonna re-roll just one?
I'm gonna do just the Dex because the insight was almost as good as I can get it. So just Dex is just a D8. So here we go.
Hey, there you go.
That'll
To
Nice.
accept, and now gives a +3 as the guilt invokes enough to bestow a support into Cassandra. So you just basically saw the ease of using a Fabula point to invoke a trait. It doesn't have to be super cinematic. It was sensible. Now, when people use the things like my players try to get away with, like when they have hope, like my Edgar, I'll be like, "What is it?" And he goes, "I hope this works." I'm like, "No. Let's go just a little bit above that." But I'm not unkind. So right now, so you have +3, Cassandra. Now, you're not forced to do this, Blair. I'm just giving you the option if you want to do that. Fabula points are a awesome resource to have at later points in the game as well.
I would like to. I think that Blair, one of her themes is duty. I think they would feel as if it was their duty to help out in the best that they can.
What? All right. So are you going to re-roll both, or are you going to roll just one?
Let's see. I will re-roll both. They were both pretty bad.
Okay.
And so I take off 2 Fabula points, right?
No, 1 Fabula point. It's just 1 Fabula point to spend.
Okay. All right. And I do a group check, right?
Don't even do group. Just do a just do a regular check. You don't have to do a group check. Just make sure you pick the same one, Insight and Dex, as your two.
Insight and Dex.
That's your primary and secondary. There you go. You got your 10. So that's +4 to Cassandra.
There we go.
So Cassandra, you now have Dex Insight to roll against with a +4 to this initiative.
And so my initiative modifier is -2.
Yeah, I didn't count for those. I already did the
math. Does that go for them?
Yeah,
as well.
So that goes for them. I forgot to add negative, whatever your negatives are. So that's still a failure technically to a couple of people. But what's your initiative modifier, Blair? My apologies.
-2.
So it would have been an 8. So it still wasn't enough. So thank you for bringing that up. I want to hold some reality to this. That was just my oversight. However, Blair, or excuse me, Levine, I think you still had enough.
Mine makes just barely because with the 8, it's a 13 and I have a -3.
Okay.
So.
That's a dark armor. It's that dark armor.
Yep.
So okay. So it's +3 to your roll. So you'll see, even though Fabula points has its value, sometimes you're still not successful in performing what you want.
Okay, so +3, but then -2, so +1, right?
Basically +1 to get a 10.
I got a 6 and a 4, so 11.
Okay, so you are successful in this. As you are on the starting side of the initiative. I'm gonna put everyone in initiative here real quick. I forgot I had that pop up. So if you look on the tab to the right, you'll see 2 crossing swords. That's your initiative tracker. So the way things work in initiative for rounds and turns in Fabula Ultima, it's literally back, forth. So you guys start, then it'll go to an enemy, and then back to you, and back in interchange. There is no static number. You guys choose who's going first. It's because I said there's some similarities what I've heard with Daggerheart, where it's like, but everyone does have a turn. There is initiative. It's just who's going to start, and that's where you guys start working together in what you're providing as a character. So, that's pretty much. So now we're going to go look at actions real quick. So actions are single performed actions. They can be attack, guard, spell, skill. Attack's pretty self-explanatory. It's an attack option if you have a weapon or a sword or whatever. Guard, you immediately give yourself resistance to all damage effects, which is whether it's magical or physical, and you may choose it to be just for yourself, or you may choose to say, hey, I want to guard this person. If they are the one whoever you're guarding, they cannot be a target of a spell or an attack. So it gives you defensive boons and protects someone in that scenario. But it has to be called out on your action. Then there's spells. As you saw, Lux has got a spell. Cassandra is an interesting hybrid because she is a battle master
Yeah.
warrior, but she has spells. She's an elementalist. She invokes unique spells into her attacks and being able to do things. I don't think Edgar has spells, but nonetheless, he has skills. Once again, we're going to skills. There's certain things everyone has its skill. I think there's encourage for Blair. And if you wouldn't mind reading what I'm going to go over the skills just so you guys have an understanding what you guys can do real quick, and then we'll start going into the fight. So if you want to explain what your encourage does,
Sure.
Blair.
It says, during a conflict, you may use an action and spend 5 mind points to choose another creature that can hear and understand you. That creature recovers 10 hit points and chooses dexterity, insight, might, or willpower. They treat the chosen attribute as being 1 die size higher, up to a maximum of D12, until the start of your next turn.
Yes. So
Hell
that's
yeah.
really awesome from the very get-go. Spells, you also have Lux as well, which that is a light-based direct damage, basically. So instead of fire or whatever, she can cast up to 3 targets based on how much mind points and do light damage. But you can also hit with the sword. Or your dagger if you want.
Dagger.
You also have the ability, like I said, to... That's where we're keeping it. There's more advanced. That's where it's keeping at the combat right now at scene 5. Cassandra, if you want to go over your spells and skills real quick.
Yeah. So for my skill, I have Bone Crusher. After you hit a creature with your heavy spear, you may choose to deal no damage. If you do, choose one option. That creature suffers dazed, or it suffers weak, or it loses 20 mind points. And then I have Soaring Strike, which, as part of the same action used to cast this spell, you may perform an attack with your heavy spear. This attack is a melee attack, but it may target flying enemies and will deal 5 additional damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And that is a key element to understand. If they're flying and you have just melee capabilities without no way of reaching them, you cannot attack them. And then it works the other way around. So having range in your group's awesome. Spell attacks are great, but someone like Levine, not to single her out, she cannot target the Hexi with direct brawn because of it flying in the air. Was there anything else to... You said Bone Crusher and
Soaring Strike.
Soaring Strike. Okay. All right, we'll go to Edgar. What abilities can... what's your skill? And I think you only just have skills right now. Yeah. It's under stats, right below your pistol. So you have Barrage and Warning Shot. And if you need
Not
to
sure
drop...
if Edgar can hear us.
Yeah.
It looks like,
He
yeah,
took
it
his
looks like he
headphones
said...
off.
Okay. Okay, well, if for a moment, if we do...
I think he maybe is frozen on his side.
I'm not sure.
Sorry, my headphones died.
Oh, okay, no worries. No worries. Okay. We were really concerned because you were still moving. So it wasn't like you're like... So...
I just switched my inputs around, but I'm back and I'm here and I can hear you.
Okay, if you would just go break down your scene 5 skills that you have with Edgar.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a pistol, which is you shoot a gun. He has Barrage, which means I can spend 10 MP to attack 2 creatures at the same time. Instead of just one, you perform your accuracy check and compare it to the defense of both targets. The effects of the attack are the same for each target. I also have an ability called Warning Shot, which is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of Cassandra's Bone Crusher ability. When I hit one or more targets with a ranged attack, I can make the attack deal no damage and inflict shaken or slow. I can also make them lose 20 mind points.
So the crazy thing about this one with Edgar, since the difference with people having spells, you can do both of those at the same time. So you can target that and then use the Warding Shot to... instead of just doing damage, you can go boom, boom, and both of them have like a status effect instead of damage, which is really cool.
Cool.
All right, and then finally, Levine, the Brawn, the dark sword swinger. What is her contributions?
Well, she has Shadow Strike, which if I have at least 6 hit points, I can use an action and spend 5 of them to do the Shadow Strike, which is a normal attack with my sword, but it adds 6 more damage, and all of the damage becomes of the dark type. So I can hurt myself and hurt them more. And I have a passive skill called Adrenaline. If I drop to 35 hit points or less, which is half of my maximum, my attacks add 6 more damage. So don't heal me first.
Fantastic. Okay, and so we're going to just go a little bit more further on the attack end. So when you guys attack with most of your attacks are physical if they're not using magic skills, whatever. You'll use your magic, your accuracy check using whatever your weapons or whatever are physical, and that will attack the target's defense. If you use magic, it'll target their magic defense. Pretty simple, pretty standard. I can't get too more complex than that. Then when it comes to your roll, your damage is based off the higher of the two of your accuracy check. So let's say you rolled an 8 and a 10, you would take the 10, and then whatever your damage modifier level, like I think Levine is plus 10, I think on her, whatever, but you'll see them on your skills and stuff if there's pluses to it. And also it'll automate if you roll in Foundry. But so you take the high roll and add whatever modifier pluses from your attack. Simple as that. That's how you distinguish damage. You roll those 2 die, take the highest, add your modifiers to it, and that's the damage it outputs. Make sense?
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I don't have to really burn down what resistance and vulnerability is, but there is a little distinct difference in this game. Resistance, half damage. Vulnerability, double damage. But in this, they also have absorb, which heals them if you for a certain damage type as well. So just going without anything I need to. So when a creature hits 0 hit points during the scene, it may vary consequence, so it's between you or them. I'll go into, if someone falls, we'll go into the narrative of it, but at the moment it's not really at face value what we're working on. I have high confidence that you guys will handle this. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and start the combat. And like I said, the tracker is on the right. We're going to use the allies are going to go first. So you'll notice on the tracker there's a 1-1-1-1 over you. Basically, whenever your turn's done, I will remove that, and that takes you out of the initiative of the turn. So,
Okay.
Who would like to go first in this combat?
I mean, I could go. I go ahead and do. I'm going to just go ahead and take a swing at the just one of the Elonian troopers, maybe that middle one.
Okay. Go ahead.
So then I roll might and dexterity. And I got 2 and a 2. I got 4.
That is not enough to hit. But once again, if you want to use a Fabula point to re-roll, that is up to you. And I'm going to be annoyingly reminding you of this anytime in sessions. So
I'm definitely going to be using one. I was ready for the action. I think that, and I'm really eager to get in there and, start bringing these down so they don't hurt any of my allies. Okay. So I will spin it, and I'm going to reroll both.
And if, for sake of this, what trait are you using? Identity, theme, or origin as the incentive of why you're doing this?
That would be, is it identity, the Skyrider captain?
Yes, correct.
But yeah, just calling upon all my training. I'm getting in there. I'm making a called shot.
Okay, love it.
Okay, re-rolling both. That's a 7.
That hits.
That does it? Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So my higher is a 5. I'm actually going to do Bone Crusher though.
Okay.
And I'm going to choose no damage. And I want to give him, or give the trooper weak.
Weak. Okay. Most certainly can do that real quick. Where are you at? Weak. There you go. So you should
figuring they'll probably use my.
Oh,
So.
Okay. It's really hard to tell, but you can tell in the top left there's a little indicator condition that it's weak, little bone breaking thing, so you know that one's at least flagged. So, but you're enabled enough to target some sort of vulnerable spot. Like I said, these are not fully established Elonian soldiers. There's circuitry that's a little off on them, but well done. Okay, so that's the end of Cassandra's turn. I'll mark her up. And we now go to my side, to which the Hexai is going to immediately cast Shadow Wings. I always forget it's random. Or at least recommended to be random. Not going to be mean on. But I have Cassandra as the number 1. It will be a 1. So it is going to... Side willpower. Actually, I forgot I have it here. That is a 9 to your magic defense. What is your magic defense?
My magic defense is 8. So
let me double check and make sure I don't have something stupid like you weren't equipped with iron. Nope. Let's fix it. It says what are you using? Are you using your initiative or the excuse me.
It's 6 is what it says on the...
Okay, sorry, magic defense. Yes. Okay, so that does hit. So you take 17 points of dart damage, and you are also taken.
Okay, so that'd be 33, and then shaken.
Mm-hmm. And I am marking on your character sheet in Foundry too, just for people's sake. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's the end of that one's turn, so it goes back to you folk. Who's going to go step up? As you see these shadowy wings envelop Cassandra, and it just pulls this dark entity of like aura out of her.
I think Edgar will go in, not liking wings flapping around. I think we're going to try to shoot that thing out of the sky.
Okay.
So Dex Insight for
Perfect.
Might as well spend the 10 and make it a barrage and try to hit 2 of these guys.
Sure.
That'll take me down to 35. Dex Insight is going to be a 15 total.
And which ones were you targeting again?
I'm targeting the Hexai and just one of the Elonian troops. Probably the one in the front.
In the front? Okay. And I'm sorry, what was the damage?
The damage would be 16.
16. Okay.
Because the high roll, right?
Yeah, it's high roll plus whatever your damage modifier is on the weapon.
Yeah.
All right. You see as you shoot off, it kind of hits a core little pointer it's tied in circuitry. It sparks more. The bullet goes into the Hexai. It shrieks out and doesn't like it, like flaps at and starts to blink as it starts to go, and it just hits its gaze at Edgar. It will go into the next turn. Well done, Edgar. And that will be one of the lone troopers. I'll just go with the one that you guys have been pounding on here. So it's going to hit Edgar, or attempt to hit Edgar for a might. Ooh, but it's weak, so it's not going to do its full damage or full attack. I like that. Okay.
Gotcha.
But I rolled a 10 to hit the physical armor of Edgar. Pretty sure he has a shield, if I'm not mistaken, too. So he's pretty.
He does. He has a arcane shield.
You see it and tries to hit with a halberd, and you're able to deflect it off with your shield, no problem. Well done on that.
Just really quick, my Sage Robe was not equipped. So I just put it on, and so I'm at 11 and an 8. It still would have hit though, just so you know.
That's what I was.
But-
I could have sworn I had it. It looked like it wasn't, but then it looked like so. I thought you were good.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's you guys' turn. We got Levine and Blair still up to the plate on this round.
Sure, Blair will go. So did Edgar and Cassandra both get damage?
Edgar did
Cassandra.
not, just Cassandra.
Oh, right, it missed. Yeah, he put his... Okay. All right, let's see. I will hit the eye with Lux.
Okay.
So I will spend 10 mind points.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you already did it for
Yeah,
me.
I'm
Okay.
just to
Okay.
help with the translation. So that'll be insight
quick.
plus willpower for high roll plus 15.
Okay. Insight plus willpower.
Dang.
All right.
Ooh.
Is that a crit?
So it was an 8 and a 0. So, but it was a 10 plus 15, so 25. But
Nice.
as you see this light,
Yeah.
just blast down on it. You notice the dark energy inside the individual eye. It starts to shriek, and you notice the light inside of the magic imbued by Blair starts tearing its existence apart, and it almost like a blink of a flashlight, blasting it like a shadow, no longer under the light. It's vulnerable to light damage, so it took double of what you
Nice.
outputted,
Oh,
and it is down.
nice.
It
Right
just
on.
you obliterated that monster.
That's cool.
Well done.
Heck yeah.
So. But in doing that, I'll let Levine, or sorry, not the Levine. Sorry, it's that's the end. Then the monster's turn. It could probably have a better scene. That if you look at the top left, it's like this little red mask. That means it's dead. I wish there was a better notation in that, but just keep in mind. I'll just do this. You don't see it anymore. It's gone.
Okay.
That was a hell of a attack. Blair out. That will go to this Alonian shoulder. So it's gonna try to attack Blair. Yeah, you down below. With his halberd strike. That is sorry. A 14 to the defense. So, and you take 22 bolt damage as you see it just kind of go with this halberd, and all of a sudden this conduction of electrical energy blasts you, Blair. And then I don't think you take anything. Make sure you don't have any debuffs or anything from that. Nope, just damage. So, and I will remove the 22 to you here. That I think if I did the math right, that should have been 23. Right. It's the end of its turn. You. That leaves Levine.
Oh, I am mad. That was not cool. Okay. I would like to shadow strike. I think I'm gonna go for the one that's already a bit injured, though. Just
Sure.
sensible. You know, I've been trained. You take one down. You know, so I will draw upon my own life energy, and it will flow around my blade as I swing at this thing. Go for that.
That's definitely a hit. You said you're shadow striking, so okay. So
Shadow strike.
okay. As you come at it with this dark energy, just as a transition from your emotions and your pain through the blade, you see it just crash into it, and you see it and fall short. And you notice a little explosion of pulse energy, and it shorts the other two, and they go to the ground.
Whoa.
Well done.
Nice.
Nice.
So that is the end of combat. It was a quick little jab. Everyone got, I was expecting maybe at least a round 2, but the Hexai got, erased from existence. So well
obliterated.
So with that, we exit combat.
So I do have a question about combat.
Sure.
Blair rolled a 10 and an 8 on their check. Is that not considered a critical hit?
No, it has to be doubles.
Oh, it has to be doubles.
Oh.
Not max. Not max on both. Gotcha. Gotcha.
6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
It has to be a 6 or higher. So
What do I click on? Sorry, cough right into the freaking mic. For so Levine and the halberd strike, what did you click on to make it go through like fully on the to, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Do damage to it?
On the icon on the character sheet, I clicked on that.
On the icon.
So I'm on.
I see.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that on
Thank
that.
you.
So as you're saved victorious as the Hexai just gets obliterated by light. The light from your Air of Denova showcases this magical bestowment. It erases the darkness and any entity around it, with an exception of Levine. But you find yourselves quiet in the ruins again, and you start to hear the girl-sounding voice that ran to your aid, or ran for your aid. She lowers her coif, and you notice a young-looking girl with bear-like ears. It's worth noticing in the imagery, Cassandra actually has cat ears and a cat tail. So it's not uncommon to have these mix of humanoid with these type of animal features. Pretty common in anime and JRPG elements. Which it's worth noting, there is no species or ancestry in this game. It is narrative, however you want to make your character look, sound, be, represent, and it's the class system that really molds them as far as mechanical side with the traits and bonds and all that. So we are entering scene 6, called Olivia. So as she pulls the coif down and she looks at all of you and says, "Howdy. Thanks for the help. My name's Olivia. I'm a traveling merchant, and if you're interested in some business, I might have a thing or two in my backpack." So during this scene, this is a moment of, I wouldn't say rest, but you're having an opportunity to purchase certain things from the vendor. And the way this works is it's a little interesting in Fabula Ultima, because when it comes to, remember when Leon gave you the potions for the remedies on that? So what you guys have are called inventory points. You have it in the top right, they say IP. Some classes have more because they use IP for certain abilities. But what they represent are basically, think about you guys having, if you've played JRPGs enough, you know that you just have this infinite sack of things that you guys can use and stuff. That would be insane for a game to have that. So what that is limited by IP points. And what you can do is use IP points to just magically go your bag of whatever and say, I pull out a remedy, I pull out an elixir, I pull, you can do that out of combat or in combat. It requires an action in combat. If you look at your character sheets, I believe on here under items, you'll see remedy, elixir, and tonic. And it'll say how many IP points it costs to use. So right now, if anyone's hurt or anything like that, you can use your IP points to, say, get a remedy to heal yourself. If you don't want to waste, it's kind of, you just figure out how you want to use your resources. But right now, Lux was cast by Blair. There's some healing need to be done. Go ahead and expend your IP points to do what you need to do, and then you can buy them back from the vendor. And they represent 10, they're usually 10 zenith per IP point. But she asks and looks at you with a smile and goes, if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have been able to make it out here. So anything is discounted, half off. So you're going to spend 5 Zenit for each IP point you want back. So is that making sense as far as that being like, it's kind of this recurring in this game alone? You're not going to be, going like crazy, but in a long adventure, IP points will start to dwindle down, and you're really going to need to find a place to do it, because the only ways you can actually achieve it is through a vendor or a town. So you have to find places to get that replenished. Now, that's where it comes into play with that. But also, this allows you guys to kind of gather what has gone on at the moment, if you have questions for her. Also, I'm going to say 2 things. You notice the Elonian constructs that have broken out and fizzled. Mm-hmm. These are no doubt the same type of soldiers that were used in the attack of Armorica. Levine recognizes these as the standard foot soldiers of Elonian existence. But also, with the pain that it bestows possibly on Levine seeing this, Edgar, you see this as parts. These can be parts for further projects. If you were to take the Tinker as the Tinkerer, you could start making awesome things with these parts, and you would find 400 Zenit worth of parts that you can use for your projects later on. Projects is something we're not going to go into detail because it's not part of this, but it is a awesome contribution, in my opinion, to Fabula Ultima. Being able to create things like Magitech armor, airships, it's crazy the things you can come up with, and it comes with a cost and time, and I love it. But I highly encourage, if you love this game, look into that, because that's one of my favorite perks about this game. But you have a moment for free interaction. If there's anything you guys want to spend IP point wise to regain some magic points or mind points, hit points, whatever. Like I said, whatever the cost of what you want to do, spend the IP points, and then you can purchase them back for 5 Zenit per IP point. So basically use them and replenish them. Feel free to exchange. I'm going to refill water real quick while you guys kind of discuss what you want to do. And yeah, I'll be right back.
Where? Oh, there it is. There's this in it. Okay.
How many IP points y'all got?
6.
6.
6? Damn.
Yeah, I think you have more, right?
Woo!
Yeah, I got 8.
Yep.
I
There's
think
a couple
Makes
of
sense.
classes that give you extra, which is nice.
I think the tinkering gives you
Yeah, so that
stuff
makes
you can
sense,
do
yeah.
with items.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need more items. I'm gonna spend some so I can get some healing.
So
Same,
yeah,
I
so,
gotta-
yeah, so the thing about it is that you don't like buy an item and carry it around.
Mm-hmm.
You're just buying the IP points, and then
Yeah.
when you end
That's
up
cool.
using them for that item. And it's also nice because then it's not like, oh well, I bought an elixir but I didn't buy a ton, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have the IP, you can have it. If you don't have the IP, you're out of luck till you get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And for like
8 yet.
standard adventuring stuff, it is assumed you just have that.
Yeah, like your
That's cool.
weapons and armor and
like
Rope
gear,
and
like,
yeah,
like
just generic
caltrops
stuff.
and wrenches.
generic climbing stuff. Yeah.
And then like in the like rulebook, it's also like, and consider your character. Like if you are a thief, you probably have good lockpicks, you know?
Right.
It's a very
Makes sense.
narratively driven thing. But like me, Levine probably does not have lockpicks. That would not be a
Right.
super like, intuitive thing for her to
Yeah.
carry around.
It'd be crazy for you to have like a gun.
Right.
Big armor wearing
Lockpicks and a gun.
Yeah.
And I am
The
so
Levine
not,
special.
I am so not healing my damage because I
Oh,
really
yeah.
want to
You want to
get
inflict the pain.
down. I want to get more. I want to drop. I really do. It's
So
gonna be great.
I do want to underline also, like, so these are just the 3 examples. And there's also a tent, which is like Final Fantasy trope, where that's another thing you can use that to regain everything. It's like 4 IP points.
A party heal.
And I think it also gets rid of all your conditions or your negative effects as well. One other key thing to learn: you cannot join IP points. So you can't like someone has 1 and have 2 and put them together to make 3. It has to come from your own resource. But you can use your resource pool to make something to apply to someone. Like you can make a remedy and apply it to someone from your IP points.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to definitely use 2 IP points to take a tonic to clear my shaken.
Okay.
And then I'm actually going to take another 3 IP points to do a remedy to heal up. And so that'll bring me down to 1. Or no, 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will use, so what is that, 5 at 5, so 25 Zenit, and I'm going to purchase those IP points back up. Just get right back up to it.
That's sweet. If you guys haven't noticed so far this game is very supportive of the adventurers in doing what they need to get done in most cases. Is there any other anyone using IP points for anything?
Yep.
I'm not, but oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. You do your thing first.
So I'm going to spend 3 IP points for remedy so I can heal back up.
Okay.
And then I'm going to purchase 15 pieces of Zenit worth of IP points back.
Fantastic. Simple as that. Now, like I said, these are only recommendations. I have read insane things. People have tried to come up with IP points using, in one in particular, I read one player asked his GM if he could create chloroform. And the person said, well, I don't know if there's certain elements in this world that allow chloroform. And he goes, okay, can I create Fabula Ultima's version of chloroform? so, and then they determine what the IP point value and do that.
I'd like to spend a Fabula point and put it into the world that this exists. And now may I?
Yes, absolutely. And we'll get to that very shortly in that, to say with the Fabula point invocations. But
all I was going to throw in is a little role play of Edgar as you're attempting to gather these fallen soldiers. You have to stop Levine because she is just like smashing them.
No, you can smash them. Smashing them into smaller parts is even
makes it easier. Easy to grab it.
He's not strong. He's a young small man. He cannot lift all the heavy metal pieces, so break them up in as small as you want.
100% takes out all of her like angry energy on these things for you.
He can weld, solder, do whatever he needs to get the metal back into working shape. Smash it, Will.
Blair leans over to Cassandra and was like, she's so strong.
Yeah. It's amazing. Just like, it's like cartoonish, just scrap flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're both just saying that.
In that, so as she's like wheeling and dealing with you guys, and getting the provisions you need to regain your constitution and existence, it comes to you, Cassandra, as she goes, ha, ha, and she like goes point, point, and like points to her Urson ears, and then looks at Cassandra's, and she goes, you mind if I touch them?
So I just like nod a little bit, and I put my head down, and like the tail, my like tail's like doing the cat like the like smack and I put him down, and I'm just like twitching him like softly, just rolling him back and forth for it so she can touch them.
You see her like. First off, the unique thing I forgot to mention, she's like, she's childlike. She's tiny. I wouldn't say she is a child, but she's carrying ridiculous heavy bags. Like she's bestowing a strength that seems unlikely to her nature. But when she goes to point up, she goes, ha! Oh, I thought it was gonna be sharp. Oh, okay.
Uh,
Where are you
No.
from?
I am from. Oh my gosh, I literally forgot the name of it.
It's okay.
I am from Stormkeep, and no, they are soft, as I imagine yours are. And where are you from? And what are you doing down here?
To be perfectly honest, I don't really have a place I come from. I think, if I remember, it was in a home from Denova at one point, but I've just been a trader for so long. I just came from Amorica. I decided to come down here through the Makito Crater because I was hoping maybe, I mean, there's always certain things that you could find and find valuables. But yeah, I came here and then I found other things. I found the flying thing and then the things that were getting all bolty and jolty, and then I found you.
So wait, really quick, out of character. Levine's from Amorica, right?
Mhm.
Was it? It wasn't destroyed. It was just taken over, or is it destroyed?
I'll let Levine figure that out, or at least determine.
I'd say taken over.
Taken over. Okay.
Yeah, they want those mines, so they wouldn't destroy everything.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. And what would Cassandra know? Kind of like the state of things over there. Like, is it, do they just did the Elonians take over and it's whatever, life's kind of continued how it was, or do they have like a stricter regime? Like, what would the Elonians like? What does a takeover look like for them?
That's being, as far as I'm concerned, directed towards Levine. As far as
man.
Mhm.
Gosh. Yeah, I think I kind of I like leaning into the idea of it, like they're not going to full on, get rid of the entire population, but like to, it's business as usual, but with new management. But the new management is in some way like not cool,
Yeah,
Like,
something's
they're
not lining up.
Yeah,
Usually.
I don't have a strong grip on what their like style is, but if they're militaristic and taking places over, I feel like there's got to be some kind of like, authoritarian bent there, at least a little bit,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So
House.
so I'm like been over talking to Olivia, and I go, and I see. Do you come down here often?
No, actually, it's been quite some time since I've even come from Amorica. It just, I was on my way at some point, and when I got to the city, I saw it been basically annexed by the Elonian Empire, and it's been really hard to get any type. They wouldn't let me in. I tried to say I could provide some extra things, but they said that they had everything in order. So I came back here. But as far as people look sad there, but I snuck in on the second gate and tried to get a little bit of extra pick-me-ups from a contact I knew, but I couldn't get beyond the main wall. But I kept hearing that there was huge extraction of the dark iron that's there, and that's expensive stuff. I've never even had that stuff before. And she looks over at Levine. She goes, like that. As she looks from head to toe, this dark iron armor. She goes, are you from Amorica, miss?
It was, yes.
Oh, were you going back home? And that's why you're here?
I failed to protect my home. And now I just want to protect other places so that they do not come to the same end.
Wow, that's really admirable. I'm sure all these people here would be glad to have someone as big and strong and beautiful as you. And she like looks over at Blair and she goes, and Jess is stunned, and she goes, and you see her ears kind of wah, 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 as she like gets closer up to you, and she goes, am I dreaming, or are you the young highness of Denova? And she like throws her pack off and goes straight into a grovel, and she goes, I'm sorry, I did not acknowledge your greatness, your highness. Please don't send me to the gallows or execute me.
No. Yes, you're not dreaming. Please stand up, please. I'm no need for that. No need for that. Yes, I am Blair. How are you? Are you okay?
I'm a little overstimulated right now. But okay. I mean, I guess it would have been worse. I could have been dead or hurt by those monsters. And I thank everyone. And then she looks over at Edgar and goes, "You were quite proficient in those the gun you had."
Oh yeah, I'm pretty good shot. Get a lot of practice. You know, things far away are easier to deal with than things real close up. You know.
I mean, I'd say that. I mean, where do you think I could get a gun?
Oh, I mean, we could probably make you one. What you got in your pack? You got some metal. Got some. I mean, I just got a ton of metal. If we find a hot forge and
Edgar.
some,
Edgar.
it's an excellent self-defense tool. It'll be fine.
Hey,
Guns don't hurt people. People hurt people with guns.
Ah!
I think I just made a decision that Edgar is a secret
Fabula point. NRA headquarters in.
yeah.
She got.
We could probably put you one together real quick or something. What you got? Let me see your stuff.
I really only have like potions and then like this. There's not much to it. That's about it right now. I didn't have much to trade in when I was in Amorica, other than what we traded out. I have a few more provisions, but are
well,
you?
here, give me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Give me a minute. Can Edgar dig through all of the scrap that he's got and all of the like scrap wood from the sled and hobble her together a makeshift firearm? I'm willing to spend any amount of IP.
So okay, so so this is normally not in the heart of the Fabula mode using the IP, but because we don't have projects to work with, I'm going to say yes. Give me a Dex Insight, but it's gonna be a 13 on
13
the
DC.
level on that, and it's 4 IP points.
4 IP points. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. I didn't get hurt at all, so. I'm going to spend a Fabula point.
To empower a child with a gun. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
The
and
trait
reroll
is thunder.
reroll the insight because it was very low. You said DC 13.
Jeez.
We get it.
Nice.
13 exactly.
I'm gonna let as you are able to extract certain parts, and it's not the most brilliant thing. You did it quick-witted and fast in, but
I'm thinking that Edgar's gun is kind of like a more modern like pistol that has like a clip and like magazine, and what I've given her essentially is like a 6-shooter.
right.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's even
Like a
brilliant that it
revolver.
has it's got a revolver. I was thinking like a
Yeah.
bolt shot, but that works.
Oh yeah,
for me.
or like a single like a flintlock.
yeah,
like
yeah.
like something so basic but functional.
You see her like go. She like takes it and she goes, "Wow."
Careful. Hey, whoa.
Hey, yeah,
Hey.
don't point at people unless you're wanting to hurt them. or defend yourself.
Right.
Is what
I'm
I should
sorry.
say.
I'm sorry. I just you were so impressive by it. But I mean, I think you. Why are you down here? Are you leaving? Because I would love to go with you to leave if that's where you're going. But no.
Fortunately, sleds only go down. We're not going back up.
Oh no! We hope to go back up eventually, but certainly not now. Oh man!
Do you have like a campsite I can maybe go to or something like that? Or you just
Well, we do have one kind of makeshift being built just right up the. How well can you climb?
Oh, I'm a great climber.
I point up the.
Pan-pans are great climbers.
I just point up to the the like half ship that's like still you could probably like see just like the edge of the crater. Yeah, just up there.
Wow.
With a large divot from where our sled came down. Right? Going straight
You
up.
can see the line.
Yeah.
Just follow this path up, and then you'll see an old grumpy man named Leon. He can help you.
He's a friend? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you don't. No. Put that away.
Okay.
You don't need that for him.
Okay. Well, I promise I'll just do it in times of need. I'm glad I have some sort of protection because things have got a little scary down here, especially with the purple dome over there. I just saw some figures not too long ago when I was running off. In fact, that's why I was running. I was checking out to see what was going on. This big purple energy came in, and I saw a woman with white hair and a spear and this big gauntlet that looked like your type of armor, miss, as she points at Levine.
They had something made of this same material.
Well, I mean, it looked the same. It's dark and heavy.
Mm.
It's a Magitech soldier.
When she says the white hair and spear,
Mhm.
that start like shooting off some sparks in my head. I'm imagining.
Good. That's it. That's up to you. Yeah.
I would, yeah. I immediately kind of like snap like back into like the captain, like more official. I go, could you further describe this woman you saw?
She was quiet, and I didn't get too close because I mean the big scary thing. But she was beautiful. But she looked very focused when she went into the dome. But it wasn't too long after that magical energy blasted off and everything went crazy.
Crazy as in the creatures started to chase you?
Yeah, the creature started screeching, and then it was this shockwave. I was surprised it didn't really. I was hiding behind one of the buildings, and it didn't get to me. But those, as you saw, the other things, the Elonian soldiers, they seemed to not do so well being hit by it. But yeah. Where did you say this encampment was? You said up there?
It's just
Follow
right up
the
at the
path
ship.
up to the top.
Okay. Well, unless you need anything else, do you want to do any rejuvenating of your IP points, Edgar? Since you did spend 4 to make a gun.
Nah,
Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay. And she
Also, erase my scrap off of my sheet.
she waves goodbye and she goes, "Thank you for your money, and I'm sorry for my ill will manners, Your Majesty."
No worries at all. I'm just happy you're safe.
Bye. And you just see him kind of wah, and then she starts like jumping on ruins and stuff and trying to climb her way up. So,
Really quickly, can I go to the restroom really fast?
absolutely. And if you want to do a quick break, that's really fun. I'm going to tell you right now, there's only 2 chapters left, and one of them is it's a rundown of advanced rules, and then that's going to build up to the final act. So we don't have too much more on the plate. So
Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I will be right back. Should be quick.
okay,
Yes, I will also be right back.
that's fine.
Same.
Give my headphones a minute to charge so I
Sure.
can have them back.
So I'm not going to end this video right yet, like I did the last one when we took a break. I'm just going to address the individuals that are viewing this. Just a reminder, this game can be acquired through the Press Start module for free on Fabula Ultima's website. And they're also doing a fantastic Kickstarter right now. Use it for their Bestiary. But in the Bestiary Kickstarter, you can get pledges for all their current books. I love this game. I hope so far, if you've watched this and seen what chaos has ensued from this, you can see what makes it fun. But there's so much more in the core rulebook, and I'll actually just show it to you. I'm just doing free advertisement for... This is the core rulebook. It has everything in it as far as how to start. It has world building recommendations, character recommendations, starting class, how to build classes, all sorts of that. But also, one of the great things about this also is they have, where is the app? They're right here. They have what are called atlases. And these are add-ons for other themes of the game. So they have the Techno World Atlas. So if you like to do like Gundam and Fantasy Star Ocean type of JRPGs and stuff like that, where it's a lot more interstellar, and that they have classes like the pilot to add into the game, which can be injected in any game. Then they also have the High Fantasy Atlas. This also has some other classes that they add into it, other recommendations for high fantasy worlds, some monsters, and also the one thing I am scared shitless to invoke on my players, and that is how to make zero powers, which are also known as limit breaks in Final Fantasy, that can do very powerful things that my players in my current game I'm running, they already do ridiculous things. The fact that I'm giving them almost demigod-like power with zero powers frighten me, but they'll probably get there at some point. So that being said on that, we're just going to wait one more moment for Kara. And actually, I'll go and get started because Kara's aware of the advanced rules on this. So we're going to go into Interlude. Change that music out of the resting thing, a little more adventurous here.
Art is also so good.
Yeah,
It's I literally was just about to say, I was like, oh, it's so amazing.
It's so good. Everybody's hot here.
I really need to pick up this core rulebook.
I mean, it's not the most expensive. I think I don't know if I still have the print on. Actually, was this one given to me? Oh yeah. So this was actually a gift from Gen Con. Manuel Boletto signed it for me at Gen Con. So,
That's sick.
but the cool thing also about this, every hard copy comes with a redeemable QR code to get a PDF for free.
Nice.
Oh, awesome!
They're very, 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 very supportive of their fan base getting their hands on the game in any level, type of shape or form.
Do they have them in hardcover?
As far as like a true, like not paperback.
Yeah,
Or-
like
so
hardcover or paperback.
That's they have them in paperback, and like I said, but one of the things that's coming in the Kickstarter is the first official hard copies. Like you can get the hardback, and then they also have variants if you want to spend higher. Like I said, they are the core rule book is a variant special edition, artistically done by Yoshitaka Amano, who did all the Final Fantasy art. They knew what market they're focusing on as far as this game's concerned. So, as we get into Interlude 7, Scene 7 Interlude, right now you guys have learned all the basics of Fabula Ultima, and you're approaching the most challenging scene of the tutorial, the battle against the two powerful villains. So, we're going to talk about a couple of just quick things. There's situational modifiers that I can, as a GM, invoke like you would in any other game. If there's a moment, earlier in the fact that when you guys were dealing with the airship at the very beginning where it crashed, if we were applying that, I could have said, well, Cassandra, you've dealt with airships before, so I'm going to give you a +1. It makes sense that you can deal, like you're all aware of what situational modifiers are. They could be negative or beneficial. We're just going to go quickly through that. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy. Opportunities. Opportunities are what are options off of a critical success. They receive an opportunity and may spend it for a powerful effect. It says sample opportunities below. Similarly, when a character fumbles the check, the enemy gains an opportunity to spend stuff against you, which is insane. Also support, you cannot generate opportunities from support checks because you can't. That's why I was saying you can't do a critical success on a support check. But we can come up with custom-made opportunities, and I'm scared to give power to that, but I don't limit to it. I want people to be creative. But the examples in sample is, so if you crit on the success, the next check made by you or one of your allies gain +4 to the bonus. So you can just put that on yourself or someone else. One creature you choose just suffers a status effect. You can choose whatever it is of the 4 main ones. That's what I'm talking about. You ask the game master a single question about something or someone that is a part of the theme. The game master must answer truthfully. If there was no predetermined answer, the game master invents one on the spot, and answer becomes truth from this point on. Very essay going forth. It's insane.
Oh, so cool.
So there's also is something that's in the system that I'm going to go quickly over to. Also, clocks. I don't know if anyone's played Blades in the Dark. They admit that it just stole it from Blades in the Dark, where these are objective actions where basically there's things that can happen. So instead of just requiring one check, I might put a clock on the table that says, for you to dismantle this whole thing, it's going to require 4 successes. Stuff like that. And you guys would work in tandem to that. It can also be something really big, like trying to prevent something ending or something like that. Or I can use it for, I'm going to say this is not going to happen in the villain scene. So just so you know. But I know in Final Fantasy, if you fought someone's like Odin, he had the thing where if he puts his sword up, you have X amount of time to deal with it, or he's going to just bury you. That would be the clock. You would see a clock of before he's going to do a big powerful attack. You can use that sparingly. But the reason I'm bringing that up is one of the opportunities you can crit and use to fill 2 sections of the clock or erase 2 sections of the clock basing on what the accomplishment's trying to be.
Cool.
Then also, one of the other things, you can add 1 emotion to one of your bonds or create a new bond with 1 emotion with someone else. Crazy amount of things you can accomplish just off of just rolling a critical success. So, did that all make sense? As far as
one question though is, so when you get that critical success and you can
You're good.
And you can add an emotion to your bond, is that with any bond? It doesn't have to tie into the roll, so you can just choose. Okay, cool, that's awesome.
You can create your own bond of any. It does say within the scene, I believe, or no, it just says you could create a new bond with 1 emotion. So
interesting. Cool.
Or you can add
to
some random
that
exists. So you can have that moment where all of a sudden your admiration becomes loyalty or something, whatever you want to do.
Cool. Yeah.
And then that's when your points now become +2 whenever it's invoking a bond on things.
Gotcha.
So now, okay. So I'm going to really go quick on this one because I don't see much of this being invoked, but spending Fabula points to alter the story. This is one of the most chaotic, frightening things as a GM, and the one thing I do want to make sure, if you're playing this game, have an understanding, an agreement with your people of what this means. Because if you give them that power, they will want to spend a Fabula point on everything to try to give advantages and stuff. But in this circumstance, you can spend 1 Fabula point to introduce a narrative element or alter a scene to their advantage. If the change you prospect, I already said that, you cannot contradict the already existing narrative or anything with that, but you can yes and or add stuff. You can add stuff to a player. You can add stuff to a scenario. You can put something in the world. You name it. If you want to try, go with it. A good example is someone might spend a Fabula point and declare the villain is secretly another player character's father, and make that a weird narrative shift if they wanted to do so. However, you do have to have the permission of the player. You can't just go, nope, he's your dad. Like that. It's not designed to be PvP. But
That's
another
your dad, bro.
Why you hitting your dad, bro? Another example would be spending a Fabula point, have an arcane mechanism short circuit and fill the battlefield with static energy. That's the narrative you create, but then the GM decides to translate what that means. I could say that's 10 bolt damage to everyone on the ground, which, something's vulnerable to bolt, that might be worth you taking 10 and them taking 20, like stuff like that for me to consider. But there's also elements of, it might allow status effects instead. Like, everyone was like weakened because they were electrocuted, but it isn't always self-inflicting on everyone either. It is really crazy, the narrative chaos you can create, and it's just having a trust with each other at your table of what is trying to be established. So a couple of other things you can do: you can give maybe 1 times a vulnerability to something, but it's only one round, like they don't get it for the entire circumstance. Allies can bring in there is a what's called a chimera, a chimerist, who it's more like the druid class. I had someone that wanted to use and say, hey, could I bring in some woodland creatures to come help me? That's a great use of it. And basically they would just represent for maybe 1 round, maybe 2, they would take a hit and do free 10 damage or something like that. So there's cool things to translate, but I could spend 5 hours talking about the chaos of Fabula Point. Anyone who plays this, have fun with it and trust your players to work having fun with it. So new conflict actions. So we talked about in IP points already. You have inventory action. That's where you would use your IP points to make an action to heal yourself in battle. If someone's low on MP, you can use your action to, get a remedy, elixir, whatever. Objective. That's where I was talking about with clocks and stuff. It's an objective. You're using your action to focus on whatever the objective is. So if I have a clock where in 4 clock turns, a door is going to slam down and you're going to trap before gas comes in. That objective needs to be handled. You're using your action instead of attacking or anything like that. It's being focused on the objective. Then there is study. Study is an insane ability that I love. But what it is you do an insight check to learn more about whatever you're targeting, as far as usually a monster. On a 10 or higher, you find out the success. You get a species maximum hit points and maximum MP of what they have. On a 13 or higher, you learn their traits, their attributes, their defense, their magic defense, their resistances, and their vulnerabilities. A 16 or higher, all the above, plus the creature's attacks and spells.
Damn, so you basically just get their sheet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have
it.
Yes.
It's very cool.
It's it's an awesome action, and it's underused, to be perfectly honest, with my game. I really get surprised when people kind of forget about that. But at the same time, I always try to, as you could see earlier, I forgot to use a Fabula point. That was the whole point we were talking about it. But, at the same time, it's a very rules light. It's great. Just don't get overwhelmed by the creativity. That's it. That's all you got to do. So, that being said, that's pretty much any of the extensive discussions. Is there anything you guys want me to reiterate on that has been a little confusing, or in what we've gone so far in the game? Nope. Okay. Make sure that's it. All right. Well, guys, we're almost there. Scene 8. Final battle. That's the one thing about using the Foundry VTT, or just using the VTT for this sometimes, is when you have preset images, I feel like it already is kind of invoking trouble when that's not the intent. But so you're going to see, I'm going to load you up here and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So as you make your way through the ruins at the bottom of the crater and towards the large dome-shaped building, from up close, you can see it's made from stone and brass. Streaked with vertical gaps glowing with purple light, it resembles an engine more than it does a building. Upon entering, you see the insides of a single circular room, its roof supported by massive center pillars covered with arcane symbols. Judging by the scraps scattered around and the pillar was originally encased in the brass. Its lower section has been smashed with powerful impact. Standing near the pillar, a tall woman, grayish-white hair tied in a single braid. Her left hand grips a long ivory-white spear. Her right hand holds an item that resembles a large pocket watch. Moving slowly towards you is a large onyx black Magitech armor. She looks up with a saddened expression on her face. So, 2 things real quick. Cassandra, you recognize this woman as your mentor, Desdemona. Levine, you confirm the rumors just heard from the young girl Olivia. This imposing offense of Magitech is reinforced by the armor that is the dark iron of your people. She doesn't, as she looks at that, she hasn't looked at the encompassing of everyone here, but she says, I'd prefer to not take the compass of the beyond, or to take the compass of the beyond and avoid any unnecessary violence. My name is Desdemona Perseus. Wish we could have met under different circumstances, but unfortunately I cannot allow you to live and see my brother and I here. As she indicates, Tristan, her brother, is the individual within this armor. She looks over and sees Cassandra. You. What are you doing here? Please do not make me choose between you and the rest of my family. Not when I can finally be reunited with Tristan. Leave, Cassandra. Get you ever saw me here, and I will not take your life. How are you folk going to handle this?
Cassandra grips her spear, kind of still standing, not really like in attack. And she goes, Desdemona, what have you done? You would betray everything. And for what? A suit of armor? That is not Tristan. What are you doing?
She goes, ease your tone at me. You know damn well, whether I am a ranking officer or not, I am your superior. We may not be the Skyriders, but this is your brother, or my brother. This is Tristan. It holds the soul. And I will get my brother back at any cost. And I will not have you or anyone else or any of your minions behind you and a failed princess stand in my way. I want you to give me an insight, real quick, Cassandra. I don't normally ask this, but DL10.
DL10. Let me get that up. I believe that is going to be 2 6s. Quick question. So when a villain enters a scene,
Yep.
then do we get?
You both
So
get,
we get 2
you
Fabula?
get 2 more Fabula points. So I meant to mention that. So you got 2 6s.
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay, I was like,
I just want to. That way I can. I'm going to be rolling 2 d6. Sorry.
Okay.
I got 7. I got a 1 and a 6. I am going to spend a Fabula point. Just obviously with like I'm going to be using probably just doubt, my theme doubt, to re-roll. Just knowing that this person that I'm seeing before me can't be, but also knowing that at some point there was always that small sliver that this is how it was going to end when I like embarked on this journey to re-roll one of my dice.
Okay.
So I'm gonna re-roll that 1. Yeah, got a 2. So that only brings me up to an 8.
Okay. And actually, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a modifier, a +2, because this is Desdemona. I'm being kind, but it also makes sense in this. I would say in your training, she's never been like a dirty fighter. but she knows how to instigate mind games on people and get them to make the wrong move. If you would have failed that, I would have increased her initiative difficulty further, allowing her to try to get the strike in on you guys. But you did achieve, so therefore you can sense there's a little bit of like when she gave you the direct orders, but then she took a shot at the failed princess towards Levine. There was some sort of attempt to try to instigate something. But nonetheless, go ahead.
She mentioned about something about this construct holding a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem like something that is any like magitech that I've come across is like capable of? Does that seem viable, or does it seem like she's off her rocker, thinks her brother's in a robot?
Let's see here, and I'm gonna make sure I didn't oversee on any reading here. Because I know there is some sort of limit about that. I would say, on top of that, to carry on to that, she would have said Alonia had found a way through magic tech to infuse a soul onto the armor.
Can I? Totally okay if not, but can I spend a Fabula point to have that be a lie she was told for her to do their dirty work and have it be true that is not actually Tristan in the suit of armor, or to some degree.
I like what you're doing, but the one thing is that you cannot use a Fabula point is alter story on an actual truth, and at the moment,
okay, gotcha.
Like, that's it's been confirmed kind of in the ether that's what it is. So
okay, for sure.
I do
just
like
gotta
that though.
Limit testing a little bit, just see.
Yeah. And you know what? If someone else plays Fabula Ultima and sees this and has criticism and say I should have done this, please enlighten the video. I'm always happy to learn and go on this. But it does say the whole point of Fabula point altering story is to build the narrative, not remove what has already been established. So
Gotcha.
So, but she does look at it. She kind of smirks over at Levine making that comment. And realizes in doing so, notices you have a stance that's already kind of like almost reactionary to what she's doing, and she smiles and she goes, "It's good to see that my training hasn't gone all lost on you. So what do we do? Do you mind your business and walk away while I leave my brother and get what I need out of this? Or do I have to inflict disciplinary measures, Cassandra?" Or would you rather your highness speak on your behalf? We are their lapdogs, after all.
Unfortunately, Desdemona, you always taught me to never back down and never step away from an order. And I'm do like the little flourish with the spear, and I'm holding it behind my back, ready to further this conflict.
So,
unless anyone else has anything, please go ahead.
I'm where it's very. Yes, this is like I said, this is a learning situation. So I'm not. If this was my players, I would have been ready to throw a ham and go to it. So if anyone else wants to do anything, they may do so. But I've ran this 3 times now. No one wants to be diplomatic in the epic fight. Like, let's be honest.
That's what we're building up for.
Not in a JRPG.
Cracking my knuckles, ready to go.
Maybe in D&D. Not for the JRPG one.
I think Blair would have spoke up at this point and said, "You're gonna watch your mouth," and then ready for attack.
She
like
goes
knuckles to Blair.
Nice. I love it. She looks at you, Blair, and she goes, "Fortunately, Your Highness, you do not have the power to tell me what to do anymore." And she gets into a stance. So before we jump into the fight, there's one key thing we got to go into. These are villains. And villains are special. They are what different forms of a adversary that are stronger, they usually represent certain levels of multiple creatures. They also might get multiple attacks a turn or a round. These individuals are considered elite monsters, so they both will get 2 attacks. So it's almost like you're taking these 2 and making it like 4 monsters, but they're being there's more of a mechanic to it, but just to make sense of it. Also, villains, like you have Fabula points, get Ultima points. And they get to use them in means that are very similar of invoking traits to rerolls. They get the ability to regain MP points, 50 MP points at the cost of an Ultima point. They also have the ability to leave the scene early, like cowards, if they feel that they are in some sort of duress. So, them being minor villains, they are going to have 5 Ultima points each. Now, the key thing about villains, they do not regain Ultima points like you regain Fabula points. So if you do get to a point where you drill them down and they use it to flee, they escaped, but the next time you encounter, they're not going to have that point system cache. Now, there are different things that happen. There are ascensions, like in Final Fantasy, like, you know, a smaller boss finally gets exposed to something and becomes a second like it goes with the story. It goes, well, maybe a phase, or they just throughout the narrative they become stronger. So but we're not going to get into that any further. So as we go into it, unless you're ready to roll, we're going to start throwing hands in the epic battle. Now, there's one other thing. There's things that they recommend. I'm like, I don't understand how they would ever recommend this. Or they recommend this, but how players would see to think this. Roleplay negotiating with her. Like I said, no one wants to do that in this. But you would do a clock, and you would be able to achieve some sort of agreement. However, there is the option where if she wanted to try to suggest Cassandra join them. Be part of the family. Dude, it's up to you, Cassandra, if you are going to betray everyone and you would join battle with me against them, or if you just decided to walk away, I would have vacated one of the villains to you to control.
Oh, cool.
So, and she then, at the moment you commit to villainy, you're no longer a hero. Therefore, it becomes my character, my creation to work with. So, pretty cool.
Very cool.
So that being said,
then you get to be the bear girl with the gun.
She's a child.
I'm not going to give you an idea, but I almost wanted to for a second. But all right, we're going to go into the actual epic battle between Desdemona and Tristan Perses. This is my favorite song on their soundtrack, The Last Battle. Where is it?
I can't wait for the new soundtrack too.
Me too. Let's wait. Decisive battle, villain scene, normal battle. Battle. Here we go. So I need to know who is going to be up front in the initiative order. Remember, it's Insight Dex. Who's going to lead this? You got to beat a initiative 13.
I think Cassandra or Levine should.
Do you want to do it, Levine? I did the last one, so.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, just from an out-of-game standpoint, I don't know if I'm the best one mechanically for it, but I feel like you have like taken the lead on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense. This is your mentor. Yeah. This is like, there's a lot of, I mean, granted, there's some personal investment for Levine as well, but
yeah,
but it's less like, like it's the armor. It's metal. You got 2 people you're involved with, so.
All right. I'll take lead on it.
All right. So, like I said, everyone else has to do an Insight Dex. They got to beat a 10. Who has a bond with Cassandra again? Edgar, I believe? Or, sorry, Levine. So, we're at +1.
Awesome. All right.
Ooh. Wildly successful on a 15.
Ooh, okay. So, fortunately, you did.
I got a 15.
Oof.
Okay. 15. So we got a 5. Okay, but we had a 15 and then another 15 from Edgar, right? And so that's plus 2, plus 1 for the thing. So you get plus 3 to your initiative. Sorry, dang it, initiative checks. Sorry. Did you play your initiative modifier?
No, modifiers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I rolled a total of 16.
Oh,
16 minus
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. And then Blair would have got it as well with the negative as well. So yes. So plus 1 basically, and you got to get a 13 to win this decisive.
So, all right. So plus 1, because I have -2. I got an 11.
And spend a Fabula point if you want to.
I think this is the time. I'm gonna go ahead and spend the Fabula point. Again, calling on the captain, being a captain, ready for battle. I did the really cool spear flourish. I got it. I got to get in there. I'm gonna reroll a 3. That puts me at a 4, and I'm up to 12. So I'm just shy.
Rip.
All right.
Dang, my rolling's terrible. Get these dice away from me.
All right, so they're going to go first in the initiative order. That'll be opponents. So, and just to make sure, Desdemona takes out her ivory spear as she looks at just eye contact with Cassandra and just says, "You will kneel and you will learn, just like I've always taught you." She's going to cast Ventus, which I don't know if I can. So I'm going to target up to 3 people. And let's see here. So insight. She's going to do Levine, Cassandra, and Blair. She's going to spend 30 MP on it, and it's going to do insight willpower, which is D8. Sorry, I shouldn't be speaking aloud what it is, but it's a 14 to magic defense. So I'm assuming everyone has. So you all take 22 points of air damage.
Cool.
And yeah,
22.
So that's 30 MP she takes. As you see this, she spins the spear, and it's almost like this, almost helicopter style, and it starts making a cyclone before she just splits it down into 3 vortices that just come at you and start tearing at your existence. All right, that's her turn, or one of her turns. So it is. Oh, I forgot to throw. What am I missing here? Cassandra, my bad. Cassandra shows like she's unresponsive. Here, smaller version of Cassandra.
Yay!
Little tiny Cassandra.
Sorry, I don't know why the image is locked up, but all right. So who's gonna go?
Anyone in particular want to get in there?
Yeah, I want to do a little support. I'm going to take an inventory action.
Okay.
I have an ability called Potion Rain. So I can spend inventory points to create a remedy or elixir. I may immediately choose to use that item on 2 creatures instead of 1, and make them recover half. So I'm going to pull out a remedy and use it on Levine and Cassandra.
Not me.
Levine wants to.
Oh, not you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Then Blair and Cassandra, you guys recover 25 hit points.
Nice.
Ooh, back up.
And I spend.
I'm
And I spend 3 of my remaining inventory points.
Hey, Krista, I'm just doing. If you want to go through the foundry and change your hit points and stuff, feel free. I'm not trying to just like be like, oh, you didn't. I'm just trying to keep it flowing so it's rolling. So, okay. So as you see this potion glisten, some form of liquid. I don't know. How do you get, like? I don't know if we need a really description. In Final Fantasy, they just go wee, and it just does like a little flicker.
Throw it up. And I do it, but it makes it go into 2 tinier ones and goes over their heads.
And you gain the health back. Fantastic. All right. That's the end of Edgar's turn. So this goes back, like I said. Now Desdemona gets a second turn. She looks and she seems a little dissatisfied with that as she goes in and she starts taking her spare once again. And she looks at you and she starts leading her point as she comes running at you and she's going to try to cast Heart or use her skill Heart Piercer. So that is right. Okay. That's a 14 on physical defense. Which I think you have a 12, Edgar. Is that you got a 13. So I did.
Oh, that's just coming from me? Yeah,
it's coming to you.
That'll hit.
So she rolled a 7 on the high plus 12. So you take 19 points of physical damage. Doesn't have any type of decondition, but it does ignore resistances. So
that's not right. I did the wrong thing.
Except no, I would like to protect dear little Edgar.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, yes. Well done. Yeah. So I forgot also, you guys, and my bad, you all have the level, you did the potion ring. You all have access to your level 8 ability as well. So yep. I forgot to mention that. My apologies. But okay. So as it comes in, what is your armor? Does it still hit? It will
still hit.
Okay.
It still hits.
Okay. Yep. So you take the, how many hit points was it I just said?
19.
19.
So 19 points go as you see Levine come in and just take the hit in front. Now that is a really cool. So I was talking about earlier, you can do guard and use your action. She gets that ability as a guardian class piece at that level. She can now do that where she uses basically an action out of turn. It doesn't even use an action; it's just an ability. She doesn't lose her action to do it. She can just do
like
it.
A reaction.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Sal.
Yep.
So
it is the cool stuff.
As you do, she looks at you in the eyes and she gets and she goes, "That armor isn't going to protect you as long as you think, princess." And she bypasses some of the armor and finds a vulnerable joint where she does damage. Well done, though.
It'll last me long enough to do what I need to do.
All right, Levine, Blair, Cassandra.
May I?
Sure.
Go for it.
I would like to, now that I have adrenaline going, and I will do 6 more damage anyway, I am going to add up to that. I am risking a lot right now, and I'm going to spend 5 more hit points to Shadow Strike right at her.
Oof.
It's a gamble for sure, but I'm okay with that. Boop. Roll.
Make sure that hits.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Yay!
28.
Okay. So 28, and that does not have the extra 6 from adrenaline added into it. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so it's a total of 34.
34.
Oof. Oh, okay.
That is tough.
Now you see why Levine exists and wants to take that.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see there was definitely a personal exchange, blow to blow, between them in that exchange. As you hear, strike a nerve, did I?
But so did I.
Nice. Love it. All right, Levine. It goes to Tristan, as he is going to use his Ground Shaker ability. Make sure I'm reading that right. It's might plus might. Ooh, okay. Sorry, it's been a minute since I used this boy. He rolled a 5 and a 1. He's going to use an ultimate point to invoke his trait of his existence to live and his need to continue to exist as his sister as in his presence. I don't see his traits here. But that's fine. But he is going to try to reroll that 1. Rolled a 1 again. So he did not achieve this as he tries to shake the ground. Ground Shaker, just so you know, since he's attempting to do this, may attack up to 2 targets and perform a single action check. So he shakes the ground and does earth damage to 2 of you. But unless anyone he rolled a 6. So unless someone's physical armor is 6, there's no hit on that. So, all right. That's the end of that turn. Between Blair and Cassandra.
You can go ahead, Blair.
All right, I will go ahead and go. He's going to kind of start whirling some light in her hands and attempt to shoot them with Lux.
Are you doing both, or what were you targeting?
Sorry, I forgot.
You're fine.
Just I forgot the woman's name. Desmona?
Desdemona. Okay.
Desdemona, yes.
And you rolled a 14 versus magic defense. That hits.
All right. So that's 23 damage.
So, as you lay into her, and you hear, seems the princess has started to grow a little more inside. I didn't expect that from you. I do appreciate the magic being cast, though. And you hear go, Tristan, and you see him go, and he starts to build up his punch, and he comes at you as he's countering with a. You gather that when she casts a spell, he is going to use his ability Magic Counter, as he's going to come at with you and swing with his gauntlet. And that is... That is a 14. So I'm assuming your physical damage, or physical, that's beyond that for... You take 18 points of physical damage as he just flies in with this big and imposing gauntlet into your sternum, punching you lose the gasp of air inside your body. But well done on the cast. That is Blair's turn. Did you do the damage, Krista? I let you, or do you want me to? Okay.
I did.
Okay. And he's going to, now it's his turn. He's seen succession in that. He's going to do it again over at Blair with his choice attack. That's another that's a 50. I roll a 10 and a 4, so plus 1. He's going to come at you for another, so 20 physical into you. So you see the air of the Nova getting beaten in by this dark armor Magitech enforcer. How are you looking, Blair?
Got 13 hit points.
Okay. So something to be important to understand this. In this game, you got, when you lose more than half your life, you get what's called Crisis. So Crisis has certain classes where if you get into Crisis, you'll get different abilities. Monsters, a lot of times. Yeah, Levine is one of them. Monsters will have sometimes good things, sometimes bad things when they hit Crisis, and you don't want them to hit Crisis. But just keep that in mind. That is the end of their turn. That leaves Cassandra as you stand and see the retribution from the command of Desdemona and see what seems to be Tristan invoking hateful strikes on the air of Denova.
Okay. Oh man. we're kind of bullying her right now. I'm going to. So with Soaring Strike, it says it is a melee attack, but it may target flying enemies. But I can also target people on the ground as well with it.
Yeah, you can always target. Soaring, does Soaring Strike give you any type of I don't know if Soaring Strike gives you a true. Does it just give you more damage?
It gives you 5 more damage.
Okay, then yes. You can always attack. It's just used to be able to attack.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So knowing that, she's looking quite hurt. Spell. I'm going to first. I'm going to cast Elemental Weapon, and like ice just starts to cover my spear, and I go. I didn't want to have to do this, and I'm gonna, as a part of that, take a free action to attack Desdemona.
Okay.
Because I think yeah. So 10 mana to do that. Got that. Oops. Used all my mana to do that. There we go. And the attack. That is a 7 and a 1. I'm gonna spend a Fabula point.
Of course. You smoke them like you got them.
To reroll that 1, because that was on the D8. Just invoking the trait of, Captain being trained.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That is a 5, so 12 to hit.
That definitely hits her. So it's high roll versus what was the extra damage? It's +5 because you did Soaring Strike.
Yeah, and then so plus 12, so 17
22
plus 7s.
Yeah,
because the highest was 7. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So 24.
Oof.
Ice damage.
Nice. As you come flying in and hit her with that attack, she gasps as it comes down into her, and you feel this as you see this crystallization over the wound that she's looking. She goes, "Why do you always try to be this stubborn? And when it comes to choosing between my family and you, I'll choose my family. And this action is only going to draw us, bring us further, bring us closer together." And she takes the spear out. She does do the damage, but you see her go and throw her spear up in the air, and you just see her fly in the air. And you see Tristan take his helmet off, and she goes into the armor. The armor comes down, and she goes and grabs the spear, and she is now no longer visibly in combat. She is protected by her brother Tristan, but will still act on her own terms with Tristan.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
What?
I love it.
Edgar, open up. I need some armor. Wow.
So
takes his arm off and hands it to you.
Yeah, thanks.
So she is. I am I need her in for me to do my thing. I'm gonna put her like up here to just go. Oh yeah, she's inside. So just she's not targeting, but I still need her for me doing stuff in the game. She. That's the end of first round. It's gonna go back to them. She's gonna make her first attack and cast once again. Ventus. Yeah. So she will use 30 MP and target Cassandra, Edgar, and I'll roll for this because there's opportune on both sides. So it's going towards Levine. So that will be inside willpower. That's a 9 to magic damage to the 3 of you.
Oh, that hits.
That hits?
I have 11.
Okay, so nothing to Edgar, but the 2 of you take 22 points of damage.
Am I up? I am not up. Ooh.
Oh
no. You took somebody out.
It's our turn now, right?
Well, hold on.
Yes. Sorry, I need to know real quick. Did that bring down what is Cassandra at with that as well?
28, because Edgar healed us back up.
Okay.
So I just basically went in.
So Cassandra does go down. So I want you to understand in this game
Levine.
of Fabula. Oh, sorry, Levine. Sorry, I said Cassandra looking at.
Yeah.
In Fabula Ultima, when you go down, you don't die. You have two options. There is surrender. So basically, what happens is you'll surrender, and basically, when you surrender, you lose. You're out of the fight. There's no resurrection. You can't cast anything. Or I think there's some classes that may change that, but at face value, you cannot do that. However, when she does that, she gains two Fabula points and comes back in crisis after the encounter. Or she can sacrifice herself to do something incredibly epic, and is usually something to the level that really helps turn the tide on you guys. So I'm going to let Kara decide what she wants to do with Levine. Unless there's some sort of intervention, but I don't think anyone has an intervention to this.
I don't think anyone else does. Yeah.
I could heal, right?
It's not your turn.
She is out of combat. She is knocked out, so she's no longer technically in the initiative track.
Yeah. So even if you heal someone who's been knocked to 0, they cannot interact in the scene until anymore. One of my favorite things about Fabula is that you cannot, as a character, be killed unless you choose to go out, and this is such a perfect chance to do that. I am in. I want to sacrifice myself. I want to do this.
Oh man. Okay.
Give
Give me 2 seconds.
Guys.
Sorry. Let me get, like I said, it's been a minute since I read on that. Should you choose to do so?
Yeah. It's never come up in our game.
Me either. I was like, that's not gonna happen.
I really, really want to. Oh my gosh, where was that at? Bear with me 2 more seconds, folks. You're fine.
All good. All good.
Totally good.
I'm flipping my book too.
Thank you.
Because it's been a bit. Where are we? 0 hit points. Sacrifice. 88.
I should have just checked my core rulebook instead of the press start. That probably it should have that.
If there is something special in the press start.
I don't think it is. No, it follows by the core rulebook. I could have sworn there's an indicator on this part, but I'm not seeing it, and which is surprising they don't have that as an option, because this is the big punch here.
If you're okay with it, so you can only sacrifice yourself if at least 2 of the following things are true. A villain is on the scene. Your sacrifice would benefit a character that you have a bond towards, which it would in this case. And you believe your sacrifice would make the world a better place. I think all 3 of those things are true.
Yeah. Yep.
And there is no limit. Basically, you can go crazy with this. So
I'm going to paint the picture here right now. You see the stout armor of Tristan, but this almost mocking stance like Desmona is holding. Give me what you got. I mean, like I said, you're finito after this. So let's see what you can do here.
Exactly. I am picturing that she's given almost everything to this fight already, and as this wave of magic hits her, she just, that last bit of darkness, since it all comes out as dark magic, she uses that to break that armor apart. You will not use my own people's technology against us. I will not fail these friends. And
okay, so as I see it, is it like a striking attack when you're empowered, like a last stand? I'm going to go with that as far as you coming at with all your ferocity and everything that matters left of this final moment, and you come in swinging. Every step taking place, you're seeing the mockery of your people, this dark armor represented by everything you've given up, you've lost, and you find the point and you hit with your dark blade, and it starts to empower more and more of your vigor, your hatred, your anger, your guilt, everything that comes forth, and blasts open the armor and finds a point into Desdemona, critically wounding her down to, it would necessarily kill her, if the fact she isn't going to spend an Ultima point to flee.
Totally fine.
So as she does so, you hear, I hope you feel pain for the rest of your existence wherever it falls. And as you see Levine go down in the shattering of the breastplate of the armor of Tristan, she takes her spear and just heaves out, and you can see her open the compass, and it starts to blast a spectral energy at Tristan and pulls what looks to be a soul into the compass as she hops away like in a dragoon style jump, and the wind carries off with her.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, that was not how that was going to go in my brain.
Crazy.
And I don't mean to dispel any other physical efforts, but that was crazy. That shows at least the element. Levine no longer exists in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But you found out more to what is going on. You had stopped possibly the further threat. But at the same time, I'll say when she jumps up, she actually throws her spear at the pillar, and it starts to create a arcane type of complex, and you start to hear it's like it's starting to get critical mass, and she flies away. I'm giving you 3 the final moments. You have been victorious in defeating Desdemona in the most metal way I've ever seen in this game so far. Well done. And in doing so, I want you all to describe how you're escaping, and you can make it as epic as possible. You are the victor in this scenario. No checks are needed. This is narrative of how the 3 of you see your dying compatriot, Levine. Blair's kind of a little bit of affection and admiration. Her eyes go blank and then dark and then lifeless.
I think Blair would walk up closer to her and drop to her knees next to her and just stare in shock and just be like breathing heavily and look back at the other 2 and say, we have to take her with us to give her the burial that she deserves. She just sacrificed her life for us. We cannot leave her here.
Well, whatever we do, we gotta do it fast. So, yeah.
I run over. I don't really sling her up, but it's the arms over dragging. But I'm using my spear and my elemental magic to pick my feet up and kind of launch us, just big leaps, just trying to get us out of here, and using that to take off some of the resistance of the heavy armor of Levine, and just.
Edgar will grab the sword because he probably can't actually help carry her at all. So he's just got the sword.
Is there anything of epic escape you want to flavor with Blair? You did a phenomenal contribution, so you don't have to do more. But I don't want to limit your creativity in this, because this is a big thing that just happened. You're victorious, but also lost a ally. But if you don't have anything, that's great. You already did a fantastic thing as the leader of these people to insist that they do not get forgotten in the ruins. So as you make your way in this moment of desperation but success, there's a mix of emotions as you start to claw your way and find your way. I would say with Cassandra, in her much more capable use of wind and stuff, like as she's jumping up and she's finding things to knock down platforms to make it easier for you guys to get up. But eventually you find the tip, or the cliff side of the Megiddo crater. You see a small fire. It's a little dark, and you see two silhouettes. You see Leon having a little bit of booze, and you see the silhouette of Olivia, the Pan. She goes, "Oh, hey, everyone's... Oh, no. What happened to her? She's gonna be okay. Hold on. I have to have potions. Hold on." And she goes into her bag, and she just goes up to Levine and tries to pour it into her mouth as the liquid just starts to spill. She drops to her knees. She just looks at your Highness, and then Cassandra and Edgar. This isn't going to keep happening, is it? You're going to protect us, Your Majesty, right? All of you. I saw what you did with the monsters. You can make this better, right? You can find someone. You have royal blood in you. You have just got to be someone you can pay. You see Leon come up to you and go, calm down, kid. We've got to make it home first. Then we'll start figuring shit out.
I just want to like place a hand like on her head, like the like soft pat, and I go, "We will do everything we can to make sure the rest of us make it out alive. And as long as I'm around, I promise you'll be safe." There's like one tear, just like, but she's like being stoic about it.
I'll hold you to that promise. And she looks over across the cliffside of the crater. Like you would, if it was a city, you might see like the spotlights of the city peaks and stuff. You just start to see illumination in the distance of airships coming towards Denova. Elonian airships. And that is where we'll end. Fabula Ultima, press start in the most weirdest, metal, awesome way. I am so glad you guys played. I hope you had fun. It was a long track.
It was very fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us and for DMing. It was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did great.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Cool.
You guys were all fantastic. You guys did a great collaboration with each other. I know I was trying to push some of the content quickly because I wanted you guys to be able to roll dice and do some stuff. I am overjoyed that Kara came back to reprise Levine, and in the most epic fucking way, and my French in this, sorry, viewers, in a way I never foresaw to happen in this, and it's bittersweet
so cool.
poetry.
So epic.
I wasn't planning on it, but it came up, and I'm like, it's too perfect.
So good. And the current music too, with that last scene. Like,
well, this song is particularly called "Sacrifice," as if they expected it
they knew
at some point.
Amazing.
But once again,
thank you so much.
Thank you all, and everyone else who decided to watch and continue to watch us. Remember, once again, Fabula Ultima, you can get the press start on their website for free. I highly implore you guys to give this game a go in some manner. Find some group of friends. You can run the press start for other people, or just take the core rulebook and start from scratch. It is not difficult. It just takes a little bit of reading and some creativity. So that being said, I hope to get to play with you guys in some aspect and something going forward, and I hope anyone who tries to have Fabula Ultima, I hope you love it as much as I do. So, goodbye, everyone. Thank you.